Oi, in top of the morning to you. Welcome to Movie Dumpster Season 3, Episode 4.
Okay, how dare you?
What's up, Dumpster Dwellers? Welcome to our St. Paddy's Day episode. We're doing the other Warwick Davis Leprechaun movie today. We're talking about A Very Unlucky Leprechaun from 1998, directed by Brian Kelly. I'm Joel Escola.
I'm Sean O'Rourke.
I'm Connor, I would like to die, please, McGraw.
Welcome to the dumpster.
Miss Molly, what were you doing around here?
I'm looking for the leprechaun.
Well, if you find him now, will you give him a message? Because I happen to know that your little leprechaun hasn't eaten a 4-leaf clover in 100 years. So that means you're not the one who's out of luck. Oh, no, he is. Now, I'll get on with it, otherwise I'll be in serious trouble.
You know, Connor, you say you want to die, but that's not your real middle name. It's Seamus, from what I recall. Remember last year we did Luck of the Irish? Seamus was the bad guy. It came up. See, I don't forget. I never forget.
Yeah, no. A leprechaun never forgets.
Before I get into my own misfortune here, can I just ask a question? Like, is this Irish cinema? Is this all we have? It's just these shitty-ass Leprechaun movies?
And Boondock Saints, I think, right?
Oh, yeah, I really appreciate Boondock Saints. Let me tell you, it's got the wit of a 13-year-old with a boner.
Rawhead Rex, man. Come on.
You got the pagan god of dicks, dude. Irish dicks.
Okay, so wait, hold on. It's movies that are basically boner metaphors or leprechaun movies.
or leprechaun movies. or drunk hitmen, question mark?
So no, that's Boondock Saints is also a boner metaphor because fucking...
Oh, yeah. Right.
Troy Duffy's like, isn't this edgy? No, it's not.
Yeah, feck you.
I mean, I'd like to believe they all live in the same place and just fucking dance around in the fields to some fucking Irish music. Rawhead's there, fucking, he's got the baton in hand, watching them dance and, giddily around.
Oh, you know what serious Irish movie I can think of that it's just depressing is Angela's Ashes.
Ooh, yeah.
No, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I don't know, I never really think about it.
Like Irish American movies, like, Irish gangster movies like Departed and Gangs of New York and stuff, but like...
Sure.
Anything else genre-wise is like, leprechauns! That's it!
It's a good selling point.
I mean, I grew up as a American Irish person, I guess. Connor, you just, someone looks at you at the right time of day or year and you just, you give yourself away.
Yeah.
Dude, if I grow facial hair long enough, like if I'm in the sun, like it's like, God, like people just look at me and go like, what the fuck are you?
Hey, Connor. You got a pot of gold, Connor? Where's your pot of gold?
It's in a stone chamber, and after you find it, I'll murder you with bricks.
Oh, come here. Let me give you a hug so you can get to the land of leprechauns.
And then life just turns white for a second.
Yeah. Can confirm that is what a concussion feels like sometimes.
Just going out of consciousness.
I got years ago when I was backyard wrestling, I got powerbombed right on my head, and it looked like someone had flashed an incredibly high-strength camera in my face for about 2 seconds.
Oh, man. So, this is a New Horizons joint. I thought that our first one of these would be Munchie, but it has eluded us so far. Definitely got to do that on the show one day, but yeah. So, this company is founded by Roger Corman himself.
Yep.
When his name popped up, I was like, oh boy.
I had the same reaction, Connor. I texted Joe, I was like, wait a fucking second.
I was like, you slut, Roger Corman. Like, you'll fucking pay for anything.
Let me just drop some history on you real quick. So Corman originally founded New World Pictures. And then when that couldn't sustain, he had to sell it, right? But he was able to keep the rights to most of his older movies and then was able to start another company called New Concord, New Horizons. Now, Now, that company distributed films to the new New World Pictures that was bought out by another company, but then that deal fell through, and then he ended up merging New Concord and New Horizons into Concord New Horizons, and now all of the rights to those films are under license by Shout Factory.
Okay.
Roger Corman is my favorite con man.
That's all I'm hearing when I'm breaking this down.
Now, where do the demonic toys fit in, and how do I find them?
Well, the demonic toys, that's the Richard Band universe, my friend.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
A separate shyster altogether.
Yes, I forgot. I'm getting my MDU fucking mythologies mixed up. How could I forget? Roger Corman's Frankenstein Bound, of course.
Yes. But New Horizons brought us so many great films like the Carnosaur series and Munchie.
And this.
Yeah.
A movie that I can only imagine they called up Warwick Davis and was like, hey, how bad do you need some money?
I was going to say, how did he get bamboozled into doing another Leprechaun movie?
Let me tell you something. There's already 4 horror movie Leprechauns out.
At this point.
I know.
Okay, he's gone to fucking space.
Right.
By this point, okay?
I can almost see that argument after 2. If it's like, yeah, okay, sure. But after 4, it's like, I guess you're right. He just was ready to do anything.
This comes out a year after Leprechaun 4. So that series is already in the fucking dumpster. I mean,
it is like calling Doug Bradley and ask him to reprise, like, not quite Pinhead, but like a really enthusiastic, like, acupuncturist who also has pins in his head. But after, like, 5 Hellraiser movies.
If you call Doug Bradley back to do a remake of Drop Dead Fred with pins in his head, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
I'd pay to see it.
Yeah, I would.
We all actually watched the original, I guess we'll call it, Leprechaun before we watched this film. Am I correct?
Yeah, well, this is called A Very Unlucky Leprechaun. So the Leprechaun horror movie is just Leprechaun, straight up.
I'm just going to say this now for anyone out there listening. Go watch fucking Leprechaun. It's amazing.
It's great, despite what you might have heard.
Job's in it.
That's right, he is in it. I don't care for it, but that's just me. I've already stated my...
How could you downplay that so much? Fucking Francis from Pee-wee Herman's Great Adventure, Big Adventure, basically plays fucking Job.
Yeah, man.
Literally, he's got the suspenders and the fucking red shirt on. And someone's trying to get him an operation with a fucking leprechaun's gold?
Yeah, man. Somebody's calling up Pierce Brosnan. And there's Jennifer Aniston being amazing in her first role.
Yeah. There are many strange parallels between that movie and this movie that I'm sure we're going to get into during the course of this episode.
Yeah, they're like split timelines.
Yeah, see, that was the thing. Like, that's why I urged you guys to kind of watch the first Leprechaun horror movie, because the parallels between that and this movie are staggering.
Yeah.
And just like Connor said, there is some Joe Buchanan shit going on here. Let me tell you something.
I'm telling you, when that leprechaun at the end of that first film in 93 falls down that fucking well, he comes out the other side in Ireland.
So it's like Hellraiser 3 when Pinhead has a humanity split and he becomes 2 people, is what you're telling me?
Exactly.
Yeah, you take that Doug Bradley reference all the way back around.
But now you throw a couple other characters in that mix. You got Roger Corman, first of all, the man behind that fucking proverbial curtain.
Yes.
And Dr. Buchanan himself, fucking John Hurt, ripping through that fucking time-space continuum.
He's just driving between these 2 timelines like, oh, hey! Looking at both of them like he's on a fucking roller coaster.
No, that fucking well is the back door to his pocket dimension. It's like, he's figured it out. Damn it, Warwick!
One major thing in the original Leprechaun that I thought was very odd, just to make a quick comparison here, was, the main thing that stops the leprechaun in that movie is a fucking 4-leaf clover.
Mm-hmm.
And, spoilers, in this film, that's what he needs to become lucky.
Yeah, because he's very unlucky, because he hasn't eaten a clover in 100 years, a 4-leaf clover in 100 years.
Right!
Otherwise, he's the shittiest magician who's ever lived.
Not only has he not eaten one in 100 years, but that's how they fucking kill him in Leprechaun, getting him to eat it! How does Warwick Davis get this fucking script and just say, hey, this is got a lot of tropes from a movie I did 5 years ago?
This is backwards Leprechaun, how dare you?
A fucking paycheck, dude. That's what...
I know. And he's not bad in this. He isn't bad.
No, he's the best part of this.
No, he's having the most fun of anybody in this movie.
Much like the first Leprechaun movie.
I kind of like the way they actually do his outfit in this film. It's kind of like the other end of the spectrum of what you picture a leprechaun would be.
Right. The more traditional type, I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Like the Fey folk of the forest kind of look.
I also found out recently that apparently his name was Lubden in the fucking horror movie. Never saw that in the movie.
Okay, where did that come from? You said you read that on Wiki?
Wikipedia, man, you know?
Yeah, but what movie is that introduced in?
It's probably in one of the later ones, and then somebody just went in and edited the first film's, description, if I had to guess.
Because I didn't see that Leprechaun Returns or whatever, which is like that direct sequel to the first one.
Oh, what, the WWE one?
No. There's a new Leprechaun out called Leprechaun Returns. I think it came out a couple of years ago by now. And it's not Warwick, it's some other guy.
Okay, I think you are talking about the same movie, Leprechaun Origins.
No, it's not. I'm telling you, it's not. I watched Leprechaun Origins, that piece of shit, and it's not that movie. It's called Leprechaun Returns, and there's another small actor in it. It's not Warwick Davis, it's somebody else. Like, Warwick wouldn't come back to play it for whatever reason, I don't know. But it's a direct sequel to the original Leprechaun horror movie where, like, he comes back out of the well or whatever on the fucking on Dan O'Grady's ranch or some shit. I haven't seen it, so I can't weigh in on it at all.
Okay. But this movie, I already mentioned Rawhead once going back to our first episode, but I was getting some serious Rawhead feels in the beginning of this movie. I don't know if we want to just plot crunch this real quick.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we kind of already did. Well, we haven't talked about Molly yet and Tim Matheson.
So Otter from fucking Animal House moves away because he lost all. This is like a fucking theme in these movies, these children movies, of the parents having no money.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, what is with us watching kids movies about fuck up dads and having to leave and move somewhere, like...
I mean, he's How To Howard. Can you blame the guy?
Yeah.
Writing those fucking shitty books?
This guy's the worst.
Oh, this guy sucks. He's the worst dad we've seen so far.
Yeah, Tim Matheson. But he takes him and his daughter Molly from Chicago, and he moves to Ireland because his uncle passes away and leaves him this fucking magnificent mansion.
Yeah.
And essentially, Molly's kind of like the odd kid out. No one wants to be your friend. No one's paying attention to her. And in the process, she befriends Lucky the Leprechaun, played by Warwick Davis, and this old man, Mr. Mulligan, is her only other friend.
Yeah, the fucking drunk.
She learns life lessons from Lucky, and that's pretty much the setup.
Question mark. I mean, she learns her own life lessons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
he tries to take credit for it, but she pretty much figures it out herself.
And her dad learns nothing. Also,
No.
you could do some word replacement for this, and it's the exact same plot as Prancer.
no, yeah, for sure.
Oh my God, maybe.
Yeah, the mom's dead and everything.
Tim Matheson, I just want to get this out of the way too. He was actually in the recent Child's Play remake. He played like the fucking CEO of the AI company.
That's right.
He was fucking Al Donnelly in Black Sheep, Chris Farley's brother that he's fucking campaigning for.
Vote for Donnelly.
Floor it, Harold! Just always think of that scene. But yeah, he's driving along the Irish countryside, and I swear to God, this is the same exact set from Rawhead.
I was gonna say, like, they could have driven past that fucking dad as he's watching his son getting eaten and just be like, Ireland's weird. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, kid getting ripped out of the car with the fucking Clone Wars magazine.
No!
There's a Secret Wars comic book just on the ground that they run over.
Yeah.
It must have been a scarecrow out in the field. Yeah, I guess I'll keep driving.
Rawhead's a backdoor pilot for the Unlucky Leprechaun.
Oh, yeah, man. It was just some cattle on the ridge there, mate.
Well, we find out here. I mean, we kind of already said it, but Dad's a writer. But this guy's kind of coming out to Ireland, A, because he's broke, and B, because he's trying to write his next how-to book.
Yeah, but this man is not cultured in any way, shape, or form. He's just this fucking boring... He writes how-to books on, like, how to plant a garden. How to mix concrete.
No, it's like how to stare at a popsicle stick for 90 minutes. Like, it's the fucking... It's like how-to books I would never look at in my life.
How to boil water.
How to put on your socks with style.
How to watch paint dry.
It's 300 pages.
I think he pretty much does mention that at one point. He has this book that he's working on throughout the film about fucking linoleum, and I'm just like, how boring is this motherfucker?
What, like, the 100 and how does linoleum work, and how to use it for stuff?
I'm a successful author of books like Light Switches and You, and On and Off.
Velcro, my friend Velcro.
Opening doors 101.
While he's explaining to his daughter all this, she could care fucking less. They come across a, something running past them in the road.
Oh my god.
A fucking green speedster.
Oh my god. There it is.
And then he crashes his car. He's like, hello, my name's Eobard Thorn, but that name's not important today.
Eobard O'Grady at your service.
Because, believe it or not, folks, there's a fucking leprechaun crossing sign right there.
It sure is. They fucking run it over, don't they?
Well, they might as well have. They might as well have Newman'd it.
Which way's the east dock? Leprechaun's that way.
Just fucking spins it.
I would say, well, he also runs across the street like a fucking deer. Like, he jumps right out in the fucking, like, there's a car coming. He's like, ee and runs across the fucking street, which then causes him to hit this little sign.
And the dad goes, oh, yeah, they never read my book. They didn't put this in deep enough with concrete.
You can't beat concrete.
Yeah, it's got to be 2 feet into the ground.
They didn't read post making.
How to dig a hole. I mean, also, do you think, like, rural, like, Irish folk have signs in the middle of the road that say Leprechaun Crossing?
No!
That's some shit you find at, like, at like, some suburban, like...
That's like at a Mardi Gras fucking parade as, like, a joke for one day.
Yeah, it's like a goof that you'd find at, like, your grandma's bathroom or something, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's American St. Patrick's Day decorations you put up for a day and you take down.
Yeah, it's at the dollar store, Leprechaun Crossing.
Yeah, it's just those stupid plastic signs you can just tape to something.
My goodness, dude. When the shots, because we don't shy away from this, right? We just have little Warwick Davis scampering through the fucking woods, and then we're cranking the film up, like, so it goes super fast.
It is so fucking funny because, like, there's a shot, there's like a horizontal shot of him, like, running through the woods. He's like,
dude, it's just him sped up, running. It's hilarious.
I'm like, oh my god, he tapped into the Speed Force. Look at him go.
Well, they go looking for him and they can't find him, so they just fucking get back in the car and leave.
Yeah. Then they pull up to fucking mansion and what the fuck? What's their family name?
I don't remember, but we meet this old man that I mentioned, Patrick Mulligan, and of course, because he's Irish, he's sucking down on a flask.
Oh man, he's drunk this whole fucking movie, dude. And he's the only other one who believes in the leprechaun and can see him.
He also looks like he's a star of his own limerick. Like, his name's Patrick Mulligan. Like, you might as well have have one written after. But that man is fucking, he's giving off vapors the whole fucking movie. He's so fucking lit.
Dude, he has those little pops happening above his head, like...
Yeah.
And his fucking eyes are crossed, and he's like, what do you say, little Molly? Should we go out to the garden or what?
He's like old Looney Tunes drunk. Like,
yeah.
I'm telling you, lass, whatever. I've seen this leprechaun. I've been chasing him for 70 fucking years.
He's got the jug with the 3 X's on it.
Glug, 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 glug. Yeah. Can you not do that in front of my daughter, please? Huh?
Do what?
just pisses himself.
Oh man, he's whipping it out on the side of the house for sure.
You see this beautiful fucking mansion. I can't overstate it.
Yeah.
That this poor sad sack fucking inherited.
This fucking idiot inherits an old Irish castle. I hate him.
Right? Just some, like, long-lost fucking uncle. He's like, yeah, just left me all this property in Ireland. I guess, well, yeah, whatever. I guess it's kind of cool. Here.
Yeah, he never seems grateful. He's like,
No!
oh, well, now I inherited this fucking castle. I'm so bothered by it.
Ugh. Now I gotta put all my books up again.
Well, it's called the Fortune Mansion, but Mulligan says, we got another name for it here. It's called the Misfortune Manor, because it's unlucky, and he...
I like to call it lost wages.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, Tim Matheson goes, well, what are you talking about? Can't be that unlucky. My uncle lived here till he was in his 70s. He's like, yep, and he died at the ripe old age.
He was so, just bad shit happened to him every day until he died. Is that what he's getting at?
Yeah, he finally tripped down the spiral staircase, and no one found him for 2 weeks.
This guy's got to be like probably 70 or 80 himself, so that's why he's like, yeah, what's wrong with that? He should have lived another 20 years.
This man comes with the property. Like, that's how old this fucking guy is.
Can I fire you? No.
I was born of the earth, laddie.
If you kill me, the castle falls.
Yeah, right. Then you let out yeah, that's what happens. You fucking kill him, and Rawhead comes out.
There you go.
He's the keeper of the Rawhead.
Patrick Mulligan.
So we go into the mansion, and it's covered head to toe in bullshit. Cobwebs, dust.
It's covered in Mr. Boogedy cobwebs, and it's...
Yeah. It's falling apart, dude.
John Aston's in the fucking background. Hiding with the fucking lights off.
He's like, Duke.
Does he just wait for, incoming single fathers who have shitty jobs in their new houses?
The difference here is, though, that Mulligan went in there beforehand with a shotgun and put it between his eyes and pulled the trigger.
Oh, no. He's the ghost now.
He's Mr. Boogedy, the Irish version.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Mr. O'Boogedy.
Mr. O'Boogedy at your service.
That works a little too well.
Mick Boogedy.
Mick Boogedy. My name's Clancy McBoogedy.
Yeah, Seamus McBoogedy.
But the dad, Howard, he gets upset with Mulligan because he's talking about this leprechaun. And he's saying to him, he's like, hey, my wife died about 18 months ago, and it's been really hard on my daughter, Molly.
She was killed by a leprechaun.
Yeah, he's like, if you could just kind of, knock it off on the leprechaun talk. She kind of takes everything that people say as reality, so just kind of cut back on that. And the guy's like, it's real, I'm not making it up. He's like, all right, little ease off the booze there, old man.
He lights like, get away from me before I light a match in front of your face.
The guy burps, a literal bubble floats into the air.
Oh, my God. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's fucking cross-eyed with the little blips above his head.
He's like, here, Mrs. Mulligan, take my book, How to Undo Cobwebs.
The 12-step program? How to 12-step? Here you go, you fucking old Irishman.
How to dust.
And Mulligan's like, what am I going to do with this? He's like, I don't know. He's Italian now. I don't know.
I don't know. Put it on your shelf.
Oh, I guess I'll use it for the fire. I'll keep myself warm when I sleep on the fucking couch in the garage or whatever.
Yeah. So while they're having this conversation, Molly goes off and finds this fucking proverbial well. And, there's a burnt-ass leprechaun at the bottom of this, but she tosses in a coin, and it wakes him up, and he's a lot happier than he was 5 years ago.
I thought Tommy was down there.
Oh, no! The well is also the mine shaft. That means that at some point, when Bad Warwick died and fell through the hole, he passed Corpsefucker and Cumdar and Pumpkinhead playing cards, right?
He just falls right by him.
The fuck was that? I don't know.
Anyway.
Hit me.
I just pictured them like the fucking APA. Just sitting around a fucking card table, drinking beer, just fucking playing cards.
Exactly.
Terry Runnels is there for some reason.
Yeah.
Mulligan's like, oh, if you throw a penny down the well, you make a wish. And she's like, can I, Daddy? He's like, no, that's too expensive. Like,
yeah.
We don't throw money away here.
A quarter, a dime, a nickel, a penny. He's like, we can't do that. We're really hurting.
Fucking hate this guy.
Oh, man, he is like... Wait until the layers of this shit onion start peeling off, because it's coming.
Yeah. So she flips a coin in there, and she says, I wish I was home.
I wish I had a family.
I wish I was at my home.
Yeah, I wish I was home or whatever, yeah.
And the coin comes flying back up, and she's like, what the heck?
And then Andy's down there, and she's like, Troy, throw down the bucket. Me and the Goonies are down here.
Data's down there. He's got that fucking, that tooth fucking contraption he shoots out in the movie.
This is a big fucking well, huh?
Oh, yeah, man. It's fucking One-Eyed Willie's little cave.
Just gets wider as it goes down. Like,
it's a fucking infinite quarter. You go down there, you don't know what fucking portal you're coming out on. So she hears a voice. It's not them. It's the fucking leprechaun. And she gets freaked out and she runs off. She's like, oh my God, I heard a voice. And her dad's like, yeah, okay, honey. Go lay down on this cob-covered bed. I didn't clean up at all.
Look, I really hate that this cat, like his character. I mean, how old is this little girl? 8? 9?
Gotta be.
Something like that, yeah.
Right? Like, why are we discouraging her imagination? Also, she's trying to cope with the fact that her mother just died, and you've just moved her from the U.S.
right
to fucking Ireland. Like,
you moved to a different continent.
Yeah, like...
You had to ask this kid to stand in front of a fucking white wall and take her picture to get her passport, for crying out loud.
Exactly. I don't know. It's just... he's very much like, fuck you, I can't be bothered because I'm trying to put my life back together.
He's such a fucking wet blanket, and like,
Yeah.
he doesn't communicate well, and he's also he's like fucking buzzkill the entire time.
He's oblivious.
Yeah.
And he kind of he says a few times throughout the movie that, oh, I'm an adult, I had to get rid of my imagination because I had to write these how-to books. I couldn't write anything fantastical. So you shouldn't have fantasy thoughts either, daughter.
Nobody buys that shit.
You don't have an imagination? I can't imagine the man who wrote a book on how to watch cement dry has an imagination.
No.
Well, then this is where he tucks her into bed, and he goes back downstairs into his fucking cobwebs. And he finds Blossom in there, believe it or not. Somehow got lost in there. I think he came through the well. I'm not quite sure.
Hi, sir.
Hello, sir.
I'm your butler, but
Oh, man, you really just match the whole building, don't you? Yes, sir.
I don't clean anything, though, sir. Would you like some morphine cocktail, please? Okay.
This is all I can do. I'm 1,800 years old.
This used to be the North Pole.
If the house gets destroyed, his soul gets released, and he's just like, yes, let it burn, please.
Finally, freedom.
Thank you.
Well, for all we know, Lucky fucking caused this guy to be here because he's got some talent, as we find out later.
He sure does. So, it's nighttime, right? And Warwick Davis crawls out of this fucking well. And he's fucking bopping around like laughing and snickering and like jumping through like the fucking weeds and shit.
Fucking whoop-de-dooping the whole movie. He's like, ah ha ha, ooh, yeah, wee! The whole, like, for most of his screen time.
I love it. He's skipping through the fucking flowers and shit. This got me, right? Because he bends down. The first thing you see is like him bend down and like grab a handful of fucking clovers and just munch on them. And I'm thinking to myself like, oh, there's no 4-leaf clovers in there, like, at all?
Not in that spot.
I mean, I guess not. Mulligan is priding himself on the fact that he has, like, a garden full of 4-leaf clovers, and no leprechaun ever fucking ate any of them.
He doesn't have that Jordy Verrill fucking patch that they had in Leprechaun, where they just randomly had a 4-leaf clover in the middle of fucking East Bumblefuck at the end of that film.
Oh, yeah, man. You got some fucking meteor shit, fucking plant patch there? Green thumb in it?
Maybe he's like King Arthur from Monty Python. He just can't count. He's like, look at my 4-leaf clovers. There's 3 leaves. 3-leaf clovers.
But he does his best Billy impression, and he fucking flies up the trellis.
Oh, my God.
And he goes through the fucking window.
Every shot is so... Because it's Warwick Davis hanging from strings on a green screen, and then they just, like, animate him. Dude, it's fucking gold.
Like, have you ever seen Mary Poppins? Just lose the umbrella.
And all the panache of Disney.
Yeah, he, like, awkwardly chugs up the screen sometimes. Like, it's really fucking amusing looking.
But he pops through the window, and he gives her a coin. I guess it's supposed to be the coin she dropped down in the well. And, of course, because he's the unlucky leprechaun, he goes to, like, flip it with his finger onto her pillow, and it just falls on the ground. He's like, ah, shit! And he goes, picks it up, puts it on the pillow. He's like, my work is done, as he falls backwards out the window.
He just flew through this window, and now he falls out of it to the ground. Presumably to his death, we don't know.
So she wakes up in the morning and she finds the coin, which I gotta say, this kid doesn't move in her sleep because he puts it right on her fucking pillow and it's still there in the morning.
I gotta tell you something. That leprechaun put that on my pillow, that shit would have rolled under the fucking, like, off the bed and under it and would have stayed there until I moved.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would somehow end up outside. Like, I sleep violently. Like,
Yeah.
You would have never met Lucky.
No.
And then we meet, let's just say the shitheel of this film.
what is this apparatus he has around his neck? Like, what?
I don't know. He's like fucking Baron Harkonnen, dude.
He looks like he's the king of Zamunda.
I feel like that's like a part of Irish culture that we're just not aware of, because he's like the mayor, Mayor McGreedy. Get it? McGreedy? Greedy?
The famous McGreedy clan that wears fucking space armor or whatever.
Yeah, he's got this fucking gold, like, ceremonial, like, medallion around his neck that's, like, like I said, he looks like a king.
I mean, yeah.
It has like back pieces too. It's weird.
It's probably some fucking thing that if you saw this movie and you lived in Ireland, you're like, oh yeah, my fucking mayor has that stupid shit too.
Oh, yeah, every mayor has one of those.
It's custom.
Well, he comes in and he starts talking to Howard. He's like, yeah, your uncle owed me like 100,000 pounds. You gonna pay me? And he's like, he left me this house. What do you mean? He's like,
He also left you his debt too.
well, if you don't pay me, I'm taking your house and knocking it down.
And there'll be no tiny dinosaurs to save you.
I think like the whole thing is like 15,000 pounds, but he owes him.
Right, it's like some insane amount.
Yeah, he owes him specifically like 3,000 that day or some shit. Yeah, he's like, oh, I want to buy this house so I can fucking demolish it and put up a metropolis.
Whatever that means.
I'm sorry, I do a terrible Irish accent, so you're getting Scottish.
You start somewhere and you end up Scottish. If that went long enough, though, it would have ended with you as Christopher Lambert, inevitably.
Yeah, that's just what happens. Lambert comes out every time.
I'm here to demolish your castle and take it for my own.
I'm here to knock down the fucking house.
I'm here to construct a temple to Lord Raiden.
It's me. Spoilers.
Yeah, guy's immediately a shitheel. He's like, I know your uncle's dead, but he owes me money and I want it now.
I don't care who it's from. He's like, it's unfortunate, so now I need to get it from you.
And then from behind him, peeking around his leg, is a, believe it or not, a house elf. It's Dobby.
Oh my god.
Because I shit you not, these kids at her fucking school in the next scene are Crab and motherfucking Goyle.
You had the same thought that I did.
Dude, I think we all unanimously saw Crab and Goyle.
I did the Harry Potter thing, but I was like, oh my god, these like the greater Dursleys? Look at these fucking kids. Like,
I mean, they might as well be, right? Their dad's the mayor. They're like the...
I mean, that principal might as well be Aunt Petunia.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yes. Do you think J.K. Rowling like saw this and was like,
No, clearly she saw Troll. Come on.
Both. She saw double feature, man. She did a Moonbeam and a fucking New Horizons marathon.
Back when she was working fucking tables. Yeah, I could see it.
Yep.
Yeah, but like there's one kid is like, he's just kind of nondescript. But then the other kid is just, I don't want to shit on someone's appearance, but like,
he's Toby.
This kid is gigantic, and the whole time he's speaking, he's like, hello, that's the mayor.
I'm telling you, man, it's Crab and Goyle to a T.
I have to squeeze my cheeks together to talk like this kid.
Later on, when he's got a fucking helmet on, I was like, that poor kid is stuffed into that fucking
dude, and he's ADR. We'll get to it.
Because it's like her first day at school, and they're picking on her. Essentially, she's like goes to sit down to eat her lunch, and they're like, "Hey, it's a new kid. She's American. Let's beat the shit out of her and steal her lunch."
I'm gonna eat this kid's apple, and she's like, "Can you leave me alone? I can't see through my bangs."
Well, they come and start picking on her, and she ain't having it. She fucking hits them both right in the gut.
Oh yeah, she fucking elbows these kids.
Yeah, and then she jumps on the table and runs down the end of it. And if this fucking principal, this piece of shit principal O'Boyle, she's like, you're the new student and you're already causing trouble. She's like, I don't like troublemakers. And then she takes this fucking little girl, she makes her clean the latrines with a toothbrush like fucking Andy Griffin.
Yeah, but like the whole thing is like the principal is trying to fuck the mayor because like his wife died too,
right?
And she's like, oh, those little boys are like my boys, so fuck you, you're gonna clean the bathroom now.
Where is the teacher?
There is none.
There's just this principal, that's it?
We see it, all they do at this school is eat lunch. That's it.
Yeah, eat lunch and scrub the fucking toilets.
Yeah.
They eat lunch on top of a giant cement tunnel.
On top of a construction site.
Yeah. This principal is clearly an alumni from the Trunchbull School of Cruelty.
Right after this, she's throwing somebody out the window by their fucking hair. So she gets like sent home. Like her dad picks her up, but we don't see that because she's traipsing through. She's like stepping all over the fucking garden and shit. And Mr. Mulligan's like, "Oh, what you doing out here, little girl?" And she's like, I got sent home early because I did something bad or something. He's like, well, let's have a drink then.
This'll take the edge off, little girl.
He's like, have you seen a leprechaun around here? I've been chasing him my whole life.
Now you're from fucking the block or something, or you're Cockney.
Dude, I can't do it. I hope everybody at home is enjoying my terrible impressions.
Well, he's trying to, get to know this little girl because he kind of feels bad for her, but in the same breath, he's making her clean up the fucking yard. He's like, yep, okay, that's nice. Can you take those bags to the shed?
Well, if you're not going to be at school, I might as well make you do hard labor.
She's like, yes, Mr. Mulligan.
Now get that fucking wheelbarrow of manure and start spreading.
She fucking walks away. He's just pulling out that flask again. This man doesn't stop drinking.
Oh no, dude, he's sitting in that fucking lazy boy in that horse shed or whatever, the fucking barn there.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, she goes in the barn to bring the garbage over there, and she sees like this rotted part of the wood in the corner. She's like, what the hell's in here? So she rips open the door, and in one corner are all these fucking egg crates piled up, and she just hears this really heavy breathing.
I thought I locked it.
But to the right of that, there's this fucking beaten up go-kart. And you kind of hear in the background, kind of off into the distance, you hear Warwick muttering to himself like, son of a bitch, I thought that thing was destroyed.
Yeah.
Because this motherfucker drives a go-kart in Leprechaun, in case you're not picking up what I'm putting down.
Not only that, okay, there is not only a go-kart in this film. I mean, he doesn't drive it in this one. He drives it in the first one. And he also drives it in the second one, too.
Does he really?
Are you fucking kidding me?
There's a go-kart in the second Leprechaun film as well. They had to bring that gag back.
Because I completely forgot about the go-kart when I was watching it the other day, because it had been probably like a decade since I seen it. But that part when he drives that little fucking car with the teddy bear in the back seat, I was on the goddamn floor. How do you not like it?
It's hilarious. Also, that makes 3 Leprechaun movies wherein there is go-kart hijinks. That's like too many, right?
That's not a statistic I thought I would ever hear.
No.
I have to imagine, we're just sitting down reading the script, this is a joke, right? You did the movie I just did, but did it backwards.
Oh, another go-kart. Okay, great.
Cool. How much does this pay again?
I don't even think, he didn't read the script. Come on.
The goddamn references don't end there, because she sees the go-kart, and then she hears some kind of fucking singing or giggling coming out of a refrigerator that's just conveniently parked there.
It's a giggling fucking icebox, dude, because she fucking opens this refrigerator and he pops right out of there.
Just like in Leprechaun!
Just like in Leprechaun.
Right before they start fucking doing whack-a-mole with him in the cabinets.
Right before they shoot him in the chest.
Yeah, he's definitely dead. He's survived being shot 3 times so far in the movie, but he's definitely dead. Oh, fuck, he got up.
Yeah, now he's skateboarding down the hallway.
When will we learn?
I just have to say real quick, and then I might stop my Leprechaun references at this. They might come back.
Possibly.
But I swear to God, the way fucking poor old Mr. O'Grady goes in that movie, hanging upside down in the fucking elevator, just telling Jennifer Aniston the plot, is kind of hilarious to me.
You need a clover freshly plucked from the clover patch. Put it on his body, and that's how you stop a leprechaun.
How the fuck did he get him in the ceiling, by the way?
I don't know.
I mean, he's magic, but come on.
Ridiculous upper body strength.
So he starts teleporting around, Lucky. And for once, I'm sitting here watching a movie and saying, wow, they actually show the character teleporting instead of it just happening, like Uncle Sam or Devin's Ghost or any other number of films we've done on this show.
And when we say teleporting, we mean stopping the camera, removing the actor, and then pressing record again or rolling again.
Right.
He essentially does Goku's instant transmission, but without any, fancy effects. He's and just shows up somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, unless he's freezing time and then walking over there and, reactivating it, that's also a possibility.
Oh my god, he's not Eobard Thawne, he's Hunter Zolomon. He's got the still force.
Well, it's almost like, that old SpongeBob episode, where he's got the Quickster fucking outfit, and he's like, yo, you see that rock over there? You want to see me run to it? Want to see me run to it again? I think it's kind of like that mentality. If he's so fucking fast, he just disappears in front of your eyes.
Oh, yeah. He's like Waco Kid, dude.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
He's that fast.
But then he starts chasing her, right? And then he's like, what am I doing? You're supposed to be chasing me. And then she does.
And then giggles again.
But then that's a foolish girl because he is a speedster. So that's a very, he just fucking zips off.
Well, she starts chasing him and she's basically just running through the goddamn road and she almost gets run over at one point.
Yeah. By the other antagonist?
Character?
Yeah. So she ends up putting this little man in a fucking potato sack and dragging him into a pig pen, a pig barn, and he's like, oh, you caught me.
Or like a mausoleum or something. It's like...
The tall man's there.
This part breaks the rest of the film, I'm just going to say, for multiple reasons, but one main reason.
Yeah.
She caught him. That's it. It's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
Why does she have to catch him again?
No, she caught him. He should be flying off to the land of leprechauns now, right?
But he's a motherfucker, too, because he shows her where his gold is, and then he tries to murder her.
That's another thing with this movie. He does try to murder her. I do agree, Connor. But
Yes.
unlike the original Leprechaun, look, I'm already talking about it again.
It's all right.
He wants his gold, and then he's going to get the fuck out of there, but no one will give it to him, so he kills them all.
Yeah. He needs it because it's like his supply of his power. Like, he sells his soul for his gold. That's the plot.
Exactly.
Leprechaun.
Whereas this one, he's just like, well, you caught me. Here's my gold. I don't need it.
Yeah, he doesn't need his gold in any way, shape, or form.
No.
I mean, it only gets talked about, like, what, once or twice in the movie? Like, like his actual gold and the desire for it? Like, Mulligan's constantly after it, but, like, as a plot device, it just falls out.
Yeah, well, that's Mulligan's endgame. But, like, they talk about it here, and they talk about it at the end, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't serve any purpose. So she's like, I'm right. She's like, where's the gold? And he's like, it's right there under this rock. She fucking pulls this rock up. She's like, look, we're rich. And Warwick, like, jumps through a fucking wall, and, like, a shower of broken rocks falls on this child and crushes her to death.
He causes a small avalanche, like, inside of this fucking stone chamber and just hits her with, like, just brick after brick after brick after brick. And then, like, she's like, ow! And falls over. I'm like, okay, and the movie's over because she's dead now.
Yeah, she's getting beamed with fucking, like, chunks of stone.
We're not talking like a small rock and a concussion. We're talking like pummeled to death.
Yeah.
You're not coming back from that.
He breaks a wall on top of her. But also, his reaction to her finding the gold is like, well, fuck this, and gets up and just starts fucking kicking rocks and shit at her.
And he's laughing his ass off when he's doing it, too.
And like 5 minutes later, he's like, I don't lie, but I will try and end your life, though.
Not on purpose, I'm just unlucky. It's still luck, but bad luck.
So then that woman that almost ran her over, Sharon Connor. So she hears her screaming. Well, not even really screaming. She must hear the leprechaun laughing and her just going, gold, I love gold.
Gold, what? We're rich? Okay.
She hears a child die, and she assesses the situation.
Well, and then, Connor, you're the one that had the actual experience. So, as we were talking about earlier, here comes that white screen.
Quite accurate. Yeah, nothing like a blow to the head.
Can't possibly mean anything to the rest of the film, could it?
No. But she doesn't black out yet. Like, the movie blacks out. Or whites out, when Mrs. O'Connor comes in.
The movie takes a detour for like 80 minutes.
Yeah. It sure does.
As we find out.
Just in case we're spoiling anything for you, it's pretty obvious where this is going.
It reminded me of like some holiday Switch bullshit where it's like, here's this fucking alternate reality where like fucking like misery lives.
But it means that the leprechaun really does exist.
Right.
Yes.
Up to this point.
And tried to brain her with a stone.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a mischievous little fucker.
So she wakes up. And Dad's there and Sarah's there. He's like, yeah, Mrs. Connor brought you in. She said you were saying something about gold? Leprechaun? She's like, yeah, Dad, there was a leprechaun, and he gave me his gold, and then he fucking tried to kill me. And he's like, okay, enough fucking bedtime stories there, Molly.
I'm sick of your fucking shit. I'm sick of your fucking imagination and your fairy tale horse shit. Shut up. Go to bed.
Here, go read this book about how to fold cardboard, then go to your room.
Oh, my God. That's a terrible punishment.
This is where Howard drops that line, too. He's like, I'm too practical to believe in fairy tales. And I don't know how this woman makes the connection because of that. There's got to be probably a few million, if not more, Howards in the world. She goes, wait a second. Are you How To Howard?
The Howard Wilson? I've read all your books. And I'm like, lady.
She's his only fan.
You are the most boring motherfucker that I've ever met besides this guy.
This is like Big Bully all over again. I can't believe how often this fucking movie keeps coming up. Remember that? Rick Moranis, he had like sold one fucking book and it was to like his high school crush. It's the same goddamn thing in this movie.
Same thing, yeah.
Except she buys all of his books.
Yeah, right?
I'm never gonna fix a car, but fuck it.
She's also kind of crazy too because she pulls up just because she finds out that this guy has inherited this mansion.
What? Right.
And she's there to like, I don't even know what. She comes in and he's like, hey, I heard you're a really great redecorator. And she's like, yeah, I'll do it pro bono. I mean, pro bono. What do you say?
Pro bono. I love your books. My favorite one was How to Sand Lincoln Logs.
My favorite one was How to Talk to Women.
It's full of empty pages because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it sure is. It's just a cover.
They walk off and they're chit-chatting because he's fucking perplexed that somebody actually likes his books. And Lucky pops in and he's like, oh, yeah, you took one hell of a fall there. Sorry about that. He busts out a fucking contract.
Yeah, he whoops out this fucking contract, here's the terms and conditions of Lucky the Leprechaun.
Yeah, here's leprechaun law for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when he pops in, the dad's still standing there, and she's like kind of freaking out for a second, and then when he leaves, she's like, how come he didn't say anything? Oh, he doesn't have any imagination.
So he can't see me. Now sign this piece of paper. And she's like, what is that? And he's like, well, it's a waiver that pretty much says that, like, if you get hurt while hanging out with me, I'm not responsible, so fuck you.
She signs it.
Sure does.
She says, what's this part about decapitating me and eating my insides?
Yeah, don't read the fine print, just sign the paper.
No.
No, don't have it notarized. What are you doing?
Imagine if, like evil... What the fuck's his name?
Lubden. Lubden and Lucky fucking flipped the script.
If they flipped the script and he was like...
Lucky's in that goddamn crate in O'Grady's farm. He would get out easy, though, because he actually needs that 4-leaf clover.
No. Jennifer Aniston would crack that crate open and he'd be fucking bones in that fucking crate.
Yeah.
But if Warwick Davis, like, evil... Damn it, I already forgot it.
Lubden.
Lubby. I'll call him Lubby. If Lubby was there and and he was like, oh yeah, here's my contract. It says I'm gonna come back when you're 18 years of age, steal you to bring into my fucking tree palace and marry and rape. Here you go.
I mean, honestly, for all we know, they could be the same person. It could be like a Blanche situation from Dragon Ball where like they sneeze and they switch personalities.
Oh no, you think? It's like a weird snap.
Oh, this is when you actually find out his real name. It's not just Lucky.
Oh, no.
It's Lucky Cloverfield the Fourth.
Lucky Cloverleaf the Fourth.
And he breaks down, why you would want to catch him. And she kind of goes to reach out to him to, shake his hand. And he jumps back and into the wall just a bit. She's like, whoa, why'd you jump away? He's like, you weren't trying to catch me? She's like, no, I was trying to shake your hand. He's like, oh, well, you should try to catch me. Because if you catch me, then I can go to the land of leprechauns. So try to catch me on 3. 1, 2, bing! Ah, you said on 3. He's like, you gotta surprise me.
She's a moron. This child is a moron.
Isn't it funny that I can teleport and you can't?
Isn't it funny I keep telling you when to catch me and then jumping out of the way and you do this 5 fucking times before realizing that I'm fucking with you?
Like, what is gonna happen if someone just grabs this motherfucker and he's like, I got caught. When he goes up there and like, Lucky, you cheated the system, so now you're going to the land of the leprechaun hell. Oh, no!
Wait, we saw you.
Down the fucking well with you.
Back in the well you go.
No!
They cite this day exactly like, that bitch caught you with a fucking net and you were trying to kill her with a stone wall. We saw it.
He fucking lands right on that poker table.
Cumdar's like, not again.
And Cumdar's like, oh, what's this thing? You fucking landed in my nachos and my hot wings.
Welcome to hell, small boy.
Oh, laddie. Shit.
What's that smell? It's Charnetsky. He keeps burning the goddamn chicken.
So, what the fuck was I gonna say? She already caught him. It's over.
Again. Agreed. What else can I really say?
She caught him already before he fucking tried to kill her.
This poor old man's been trying to catch him for like God knows how long, and she catches him like the first fucking day there.
Well, she's got youthful energy and functioning needs. I'm sure it's easier for her.
Probably.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, if he stops drinking, he'll die.
but the alcohol is keeping him from having, decent motor skills.
His organs will fail. Yeah.
It's like the only thing keeping his body warm.
He's like Keith Richards.
The moment he stops drinking, he just combusts.
He just falls to pieces into dust. So then Lucky basically is explaining this, and he's like, you need some help to catch me. He's like, you need a lucky charm.
And instead of just, like, helping her, he's like, I'll get you a lucky charm, TM.
Fuck your lucky charms.
Yeah, fuck you, Lucky Charms, indeed.
She goes back to school after this.
Yeah, it like cuts to the next day, and she's like eating lunch on this fucking giant cement tunnel that we were talking about before.
It's just like crudely painted.
Yeah, it looks like it's graffiti.
Enjoying your lunch in this vacant lot?
Yeah, right. So she's sitting on this thing, and it like cuts to Crab and Goyle, and they're like eating their lunch. He's like, "What's with the new girl? She's talking to her lunch like a fucking crazy person." And then they go over and fuck with her.
Well, he is showing her the Lucky Charms at this point. He's pulling one wacky thing out after another.
He's got what is it? He's like a lucky rabbit's foot and a lucky comb and a lucky horseshoe. And she's like, "Well, what?" And she's like, "Well, it's like a Horcrux, me dear. We're gonna fuse your soul to one of these."
Dobby fucking walks up from behind Crab and Goyle and then says, Miss Molly, please give me a sock. Please.
"I know I didn't clean your house, Miss Molly, but please don't hit me anymore."
Lucky turns and just murders him immediately.
Dead again, Dobby, you blew it.
It's like the Peter Griffin chicken thing. Fucking Lucky just goes after Dobby.
It's almost like, we said in our Aberration episode how he was obviously killed by Pamela Gidley. She tried to blame it on the geckos, but, I wouldn't, and then he ascended and went to go work with the wizards, but I really honestly wouldn't be surprised if the wizards got some kind of sick joy out of sending him back to reality and making him work on other people's problems.
No, send him back, do it again.
I think Gunnar totally is like, you're going back to the Earth, sir. And "No, not again, Mr. Gunnar."
When can Dobby finally ascend? Next time, we promise.
Charnetsky's just like, "Never, you fucking elf. I'm having too much fun. Now get down there."
It's a practical joke. Now just get it already.
He just kicks back in his fucking recliner. And then Dobby slams into the fucking earth, right through the roof of the fucking O'Grady mansion.
I mean, honestly, I feel like you say it's Gunnar, but Gunnar, he's a pretty nice guy for the most part. It's gotta be Haggerty. He's got a problem with elves to begin with.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Oh my god, he's an elf racist?
Yeah, he totally is.
Can you blame him?
I think so. I think you're right.
I don't want your kind around here, okay? So back to your body you go.
He walks into the fucking room. He's like, Is that an elf?
We don't serve elves here. Get out.
I thought I exterminated all you. Are you a fucking Nazi or something?
And, the worst part is, as bad as I feel for Dobby for having to, be brought back to life over and over again just to be killed again, I actually kind of feel a little worse for Harry Potter, who's got to keep the fucking GPS on his watch all the time.
Oh my god, he's like Sarah Connor?
Yeah, well, that's what it is. Exactly. He's got a chip installed in Dobby's body at this point because he's already had to do it like 3 times. And he's like, fuck, they brought him back again. I'm just trying to be an Auror. Leave me alone.
Every time Haggerty sends him back, he like burns the fucking Elfenhooten sign into his fucking forehead.
Yeah, he's got a new scar.
Harry's just driving around the world with a truck and a shovel in the back of it. Like,
Connor doesn't need a truck. He just got to go use that flu stuff. What do they call that?
Flu powder, right?
Yeah, he's got the flu powder to go travel through the chimney.
Oh, that's right.
At some point, Molly or Lucky or a combination of both, like, they get into this food fight, and, like, the bullies essentially are just covered in milk.
Crab and Goyle, like, throw, like, milk at each other, but it, like, misses her and, like, goes on, on each other, and then there's a big food fight, and she, like, runs away.
Yeah, and then, O'Boyle gets hit, and then she flips out, and then she fucking yells at Molly again. And, I gotta say, Connor, you really called it with the fucking Prancer comparison there, because...
Yeah, dude.
I'm telling you.
I didn't even think of that, but now I'm like, oh my god.
There is a point in this scene where Lucky's like, yeah, I tried to have all these kids catch me, but they don't have any imaginations because they all have their own friends. She's like, yeah, I'm a loser. I don't have any friends. Good thing I'm unpopular. So I can see you, Lucky.
Yeah, Lucky, you homicidal fucking, supernatural being.
Here's a homicidal maniac.
You sociopathic fucking pint-sized prick.
He also takes her to his quote-unquote home, and this is where he pulls out a couple more of these Lucky Charms, and...
Is that what that is?
I actually thought this was pretty funny. He pulls out this fucking starfish that starts talking to him.
Okay, hang on. This starfish has to be addressed because
he pulls out all his different kinds of marshmallows.
He pulls out, this thing straight up looks like a fucking vagina with legs, okay?
One fully functioning vagina.
And it talks and he's like rub the starfish. I'm like, don't rub the starfish.
this starfish has the most voluptuous lips on it, and it's speaking to her, and it's just like, it's not my tentacle. Oh no, it goes, it's not my leg. It's a tentacle. Don't touch it. I'm using them.
This is when the movie fucking broke me when this thing came out of his fucking bag. But like until this point, I was like, it's like a dumb kids movie, and then I was like, oh, you're a crazy kids movie, is what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because this thing starts doing cartwheels out the fucking window.
Dude, it commits suicide, and it just goes into the fucking countryside.
I thought I was watching a Peter Jackson movie for like a hot minute.
Then Lucky starts pulling all these kind of weird shit out of his bag. Now, imagine if this was like the General Mills cereal.
Yeah.
And you know how, like, you know that commercial, like, Lucky's like, oh, catch my lucky clovers, red balloons and blue moons and stars and shit and pots of gold. How about a fucking dirty starfish and a used comb? A used condom.
Here's my filthy starfish. I like to... Never mind. I'll put that away.
It's got a mouth, I tell you. It's real sweet.
I definitely don't put it on my penis.
He's fucking that starfish mouth, dude.
Okay, Sean, I was trying to go dance around the joke, but you went right for the fucking jugular there.
This is Movie Dumpster. Come on. We go headlong into bad jokes, one after another.
Imagine all these things in a fucking breakfast cereal, man, as marshmallows.
Talking to you, just making the milk brown.
Yeah, oh, dude.
Oh no, I got a box full of all vagina stars.
It tastes like a dumpster.
Oh my god.
This is the best. Thanks, Lucky, you unlucky fuck. Part of a nutritious breakfast?
Yeah, all part, yes, as you smile and your teeth fucking fall out.
So the fucking, the fleshlight starfish fucking jumps out the window.
Yeah. They chase this thing across the countryside.
And it's just, it's the weirdest fucking thing, dude.
It is really bizarre.
And it's like bibble-babbling the entire time.
Yeah, it's like the whole time.
You can't catch me.
Yeah, what is it, the goddamn gingerbread man?
It's the greased up deaf guy from Family Guy.
Probably.
Oh my god, kinda. Well, it goes fucking rolling past this construction site that McGrady is in charge of, his company.
Which is seemingly right in the peripheral of every shot.
Yes.
Because it's just right next to where it is.
It's on the side of the only road in this whole fucking town, because this road is where everything connects to. It's a big fucking circle. It's the school, it's the construction site, it's the house, and then fields.
It's just right outside of the camera's view when we're not actually there.
Well, you have these two guys working, and they're just waiting for the cement to dry. You know, they should have bought Howard's book. They could have got it done faster.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the catharsis of that whole fucking thing.
Yeah, they that's the punchline.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually McGrady's like, hey, what are those guys doing? To like the supervisor's like, they're waiting for it to dry. He's like, well, tell them to do it faster.
Yeah, they're on their fucking lunch break, dude.
He complains about them eating their lunch, and then it cuts, and then they're literally blowing on the cement with their with their mouths.
I kind of got a kick out of that. I'm like, that's some really good shitty boss attitudes.
The foreman's like, blow harder, you bastards.
Well, then you see this starfish fucking cartwheel by in the wet cement, and you see Lucky's footprints, but you don't see Lucky just like fuck the cement up, and then Molly runs it and knocks McGreedy over, and this fucking moron falls face first into the cement and breaks his arm.
This guy pratfalls into this fucking cement, okay? He's like, he gets gently brushed with this girl. He's like, oh, I've been assaulted, ooh, and then just fucking Ric Flair flops into this fucking cement.
Well, you know, when I say he breaks his arm, he really just says he broke it and put his arm in a sling, but I think he's lying.
This foreman, with his two naked eyes, sees these footprints appear in this cement and is completely flabbergasted, but then totally forgets it the next minute.
I mean, when your boss falls and says he breaks his arm and this guy's already a major pain in the ass to deal with, I think you're going to focus on him.
Yeah, he loves his boss a little too much, as we'll find out later.
So of course, Molly gets in trouble again.
Yeah.
Because, again, Prancer.
Yes. Exactly. Oh, dude, for sure, 100%. And then Mr. McGreedy, like, brings her back to the mansion. He's like, he knocks on the door, and Tim Matheson opens, and he's like, I think this is yours. And he fucking gives her his fucking child back to him, and then just like, I'll give you the dry cleaning bill in the morning. See ya.
And then we have a St. Patrick's Day fucking miracle. Because I guess Sharon's been working on the house, you know, getting the house all good to go. Fucking Tim comes in, opens his goddamn eyes, and this house looks immaculate, and it's got to be, what, like a few days?
It's just this one particular room.
Oh, I was under the impression it was the entire house.
No. Well, is it? Maybe.
I think it's supposed to be the whole house, because he is like, oh my god, is this the same place? This is amazing. What did you do? She's like, I cleaned up.
Yeah, I thought it was just the one room, and then she eventually fixes everything.
Okay, maybe that was it. It was still unbelievable.
Could be, and everything is, like, immaculate. It looks great.
She's like, what'd you do? She's like, it's a feather duster, you chode.
Yeah, she's like, I cleaned it up, and I just put some new upholstery on the furniture. Congratulations.
He goes, wow, you want to stay for dinner? I make a mean lasagna.
You want some lasagna? She's like, do you like it? And he's like, well, of course I like it. It's free.
It's my kind of money.
It's my kind of.
Oh my God! What does she see in this guy?
I don't know, but from here on out,
He was in Animal House.
from here on out, he is putting the moves on this woman just to latch onto her financial security.
And I love when his daughter calls him out on it.
Oh my God, she does fucking just straight up.
So Molly goes to sleep again, and as per usual, Lucky's coming in to check up on her.
Man, he's coming in like fucking what's his name, and Clarissa Explains It All every time.
Hey, Sam. Wow.
Sam, yeah. The fucking guitar plays.
Well, you know, Dad and Sharon are having their lasagna dinner downstairs, but because Molly knocked the fucking mayor over, she doesn't get any dinner.
Yeah, he sent me to bed without supper because he wanted to fuck his new girlfriend. She basically says that. She wanted a romantic evening with Miss Connor.
So then Lucky, he pulls out of his bag. He's like, I got something to cheer you up. He pulls out this fucking glowing orb, this lumin-ass-looking orb.
Oh, it's a lumen.
And he goes, oh, yeah, I got this from the Great Attractor. And then Molly touches it, and it starts bouncing all over the house, destroying everything. And she goes, shit, I'm going to have to pay for that.
He thought it was funny as hell.
I said it was a shooting star. I lied. It's a spirit bomb. Don't touch it. And there's some point where he says it's like a wishing star or something like that, but then says like, oh, I made a mistake. It's a shooting star.
Yeah, this little thing caused the blackout in 1976.
Well, then Howard comes in after he sees the disaster, and he only sees Molly again. He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, look at this fucking mess. He's like, you ruined everything. He's like, this is all because of your fiction section. Goes in and takes her Dr. Seuss books and her fucking everything off the shelf that's not her school books.
What a piece of shit. He goes in and takes all of her fucking books, which, by the way, is the only thing in her room outside of a fucking bed and a shelf and a dresser.
Yep, Green Eggs and Ham goes right in the garbage. At this point, it becomes Drop Dead Fred with a leprechaun. Like, it's basically, because it's her imaginary friend, and they're just causing hijinks, like, not on purpose.
Right, yeah.
He's just like, let's have some fun and trash the fucking house.
So he takes away her Stephen King and her Tolkien books, and she goes to bed.
And he leaves her one book. It says How to Insert Thumbtacks.
So there's also this whole thing, which we didn't really talk about, but how Lucky keeps taking the flowers out of Mulligan's garden, and he eats them or uses them as like kind of like breadcrumbs to be followed. And so the next morning, Molly's out there looking for Lucky, and she finds said rosebuds and kind of goes looking for him in the woods.
And she finds a crazy drunk instead.
Yeah, Mulligan, he's getting around town, man.
She gets Ewok trapped.
I would say, is Mulligan auditioning for the latest Jigsaw Apprentice? Like, what was this?
Oh, you want to play a game or what?
He's got his feet kicked up. His face is fucking beet red, and he's got an old school fucking alarm clock sitting there. And she gets picked up like the goddamn predator.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, man.
He comes running out like, yes, I finally caught him. I finally got that little bastard. And he comes and he's like, oh, fuck.
and then she blows his head off with her shoulder cannons.
Skunked again. No, just his one arm. And he's got a shovel in the other, and he's screaming.
He's so lit, though, he doesn't even fucking react. He just reaches with other arm and grabs his flask. He's like, so what? Do it again.
It's gonna take more than that, you bastard.
And she tells him about how she met Lucky and, she knows all about him, and Mulligan, of course, believes her. He's like, yeah, he's very unlucky. And she's like, what do you mean by that? He's like, well, first of all, it's the name of the film, but secondly...
It says here in my script, give me my Daniel Baldwin.
I got it from the well.
He hasn't eaten a 4-leaf clover in fucking 100 years. He's out of luck.
If you can't find one 4-leaf clover in 100 years... Two things. Either you suck.
You gotta go to O'Grady's farm, man. They're fucking there.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that too. Or you're just slacking off. I think he's a slacker.
I don't think he really wants to ascend. He wants to stay on this plane, I think.
No, he wants to have too much fun being an annoying prick to mortals.
Yeah. Well, he's got a fucking bond with this Mulligan guy.
Do you think, like, honestly, like, he just, like, kind of, he's roommates with Mulligan?
A mortal bond.
Like that's the rib?
I love the idea of Lucky being like a tulpa that's been manifested from Mulligan's drunken psyche.
Yeah, I could see it.
And he just becomes more mischievous and more mischievous. Then finally, when he goes back down the end of the well at this movie, he like pops up on the other side and then he's evil Warwick.
Are you saying that Lucky is like Sisyphus's boulder and like Mulligan has to push this thing up a hill only for it to roll back down every single time?
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, if you think about the timeline, or at least the movie dumpster timeline, let's say, he goes in the well at the end of Leprechaun 1, he comes out in this one, he goes off to Leprechaun whatever the fuck, and then he comes out of the well for the second movie.
Yeah.
Timeline doesn't exactly line up, but we'll say in the world of leprechauns, sounds about right to me.
Because we're retconning movies.
Well, we've been doing that for 3 years now.
Right, exactly. So the timeline's all fucked up.
John Hurt.
Exactly. We have like 4 branched timelines. This is what happens when Bruce doesn't give the stone back to the Sorcerer Supreme. This is what happens.
Yeah, Lucky summons a French maid. That's what fucking happens. Whoops.
Parlez-vous.
Well, this French maid, she walks up saying oops, and a fucking table's set up, and they're ready to eat this 4-leaf clover because, surprise, Molly's got one for him.
Yeah, and the butler's Blossom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, it's probably not the French maid. It is Blossom. You're right.
No, he's all cleaned up, man. He's looking good. So they're sitting down, and he's like, I heard the 4-leaf clover is excellent. And she's like, I got something to tell you.
Can we unpack this whole setup real quick? Because it's kind of bizarre.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah, because he summons a fucking butler, like you said, Blossom. He's like, monsieur. And then he steps aside, and there's a fucking, like, a romantic dinner table set up with, like, a tablecloth and, like, candelabras and, like, I thought champagne glasses or something. And he sits down and he's like, I've heard the 4-leaf clover here is good. And then Molly's like, I want a divorce or something. Like, that's the tone of this whole fucking scene. It's so bizarre.
I mean, honestly, he had that table prepared for Mulligan for years, so that's where all the alcohol comes in.
I was going to say, this is where he takes the starfish, wines him and dines him.
Oh, yeah, he puts him under the table and just starts fucking going at it.
I can't.
That's why he was so distracted during this conversation.
That's right. He was getting starfished.
Huh? Say that again, Molly? I missed that. No, 4-leaf clover, you have one? Oh, you don't? All right, just wait a minute. I have to finish.
Under the table, you hear like,
and then it like rolls away, just dripping green shit all over the ground behind it. Ew.
This is the filthiest episode we've ever done.
I think that's worse than Denise Richards taking a shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's like, I gotta tell you something, Lucky. It's not a 4-leaf clover. It's a 3-leaf clover, and I ripped one of them in half. And he's like, you lied to me. She's like, yep. But you lied to me too, because you're an unlucky fuck.
Do something about it, small man.
No, because she like calls him out. She's like, yeah, well, guess what? You didn't eat a fucking 4-leaf clover in 100 years, and you have no good luck. And all you've been doing is causing me misery.
I mean...
He's like, but it's still luck, even though it's bad. And she's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Don't you hit me with semantics, you fucking bastard.
And then he does some post-oral sex crying. And, admits that he's a loser and his life sucks.
Oh, yeah.
And she kind of comes over and she gives him a fucking massage on the back and she's like, it's okay. We're going to go find one together. And he's like, really? Yeah, let's go look. So they go fucking tromping around trying to find one. And I had flashbacks to fucking Avatar because a goddamn bulldozer just starts chasing him through the woods.
Yeah, and then it's never seen again.
Yeah, because fucking Max is driving it and he's fucking going to get some hay to go take out Rump.
There's chaff on the end of that.
Yeah. He's like, come on, Rumpelstiltskin. Almost runs over these fucking kids. Or this one kid.
God, that movie also has a fucking go-kart sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It does. You're right. Mark Jones had an obsession with go-karts, clearly.
Did Mark Jones write this movie, too?
God damn it.
All right, if we're doing a Leprechaun movie, a small, mischievous creature movie, go-karts.
Is he like, was it John Peters and the obsession with giant fucking spiders?
Spiders?
Like,
Let's go go-karts. Put that little man in a go-kart.
At the end of this movie, Superman has to fight Brainy in a go-kart, okay? Because go-karts are cool.
Fuck it explodes.
But you also see in this scene that Crab and Goyle have go-karts. But she finds out in this scene about this 5,000-pound race.
The race, yeah. So it's like, so then it's that classic thing where it's like, we're gonna win the contest or whatever to raise the money to save the whatever. You know, that trope.
To save heavyweights.
Exactly, to save the camp.
This is also bizarre because it's 45 minutes into the movie and suddenly there's like a brand new conflict or something.
Yeah.
Like a new plot.
They're like looking for this clover and then they just kind of fuck off that idea and they're like, well, let's go build a go-kart instead.
Yeah, they find a new storyline, essentially, is what happens.
Well, they don't drop the clover plot point exactly because off-screen Mulligan tells her, just put dirt in a fucking pot and put some seeds in there and just put it in the moonlight and after 4 weeks it'll grow.
Yeah, and she's like, and even Lucky's like, well, that's stupid because by that time the house will be demolished. Also, they're looking, just real quick, they were looking for clovers like in a dirt pile in the middle of the woods.
Right, well, okay, that's why the Crab and Goyle are there because Mulligan comments, he says, yeah, you know, you're not going to find any four-leaf clovers around here. Those two fucking kids keep running over all the grass.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, they keep fucking up all the fields and whatnot with these go-karts.
What are they doing over there?
Being assholes.
They're driving all the way over to this property?
They're driving go-karts in the woods?
I guess.
I mean, I think Molly tries to stay within like a square mile of the house, so she doesn't really get that far. That's how she misses out on all the fucking Rawhead carnage.
It's possible.
Yes, the next town over.
It's like, it's in all the newspapers.
Yeah. Local town terrorized by giant boner.
Walking penis kills people. Kills little boy.
Howard's next book, How to Avoid a Mass Murdering Monster.
Don't leave the house. Be a wet blanket.
Just move in the town next door.
How to avoid a pagan penis god. In 3 steps.
So then she asks her dad how to basically fix up that old go-kart in the shed. And he's like, yeah, I got a book on it right here.
Okay, so this scene has, like, my favorite shot of the movie. She's like, Dad, help me build a go-kart. And he's like, absolutely. And he reaches for a fucking book, and it cuts to Sharon's face, and she rolls her eyes so far into the back of her fucking head and just is like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
dude, this is. And he's like, what? I gave her the book. She's good. We gotta have dinner in this montage and lunch in this montage and clean up the house in this montage. That little kid's fine.
We have to have sex eventually because that's my only end game here.
And she also tells him that, oh, your newest book on fucking floor tiles? It's gonna be a banger.
Shut up, Mrs. O'Connor. You're a fucking idiot.
It's your best book yet. He's like, really? Are you serious? I gotta send this right out to my publisher.
Like it's a goddamn series. Like it's Game of Thrones or some shit. Like, yeah, it was great. Best installment yet.
Kept me at the edge of my fucking seat, let me tell you.
I couldn't put it down.
He hands her this book, Making the Most of the Motor. And she goes out. She's like, okay, I guess I'll do it myself.
There's no motor. It's just a frame.
Yeah.
There's a frame with some wheels. There's nothing else on this thing. So you're telling me she builds this motor from scratch?
In like 2 days.
Well, it's like 3 weeks because, you know, you have that 4-week window of when the clover's going to bloom all the way. And, you know, spoilers for the end of the film, it blooms like literally at the end of the film. So you got to think about 3 weeks.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Which also paints a picture of 3 weeks of a dad inside trying to fuck his interior decorator while his daughter is out in this dingy wooden beat-up shed trying to build a fucking motor.
Yeah.
They don't even eat meals with her. They eat it together.
No, yeah.
And they cook together, and the kid just is seemingly
absent.
You know, quarantined in this fucking shed.
With a leprechaun that nobody can see.
With a leprechaun eating bugs and shit.
It's like raining and she has her face against the glass. He's like, I don't see a go-kart built yet, honey.
Where's the engine?
Meanwhile, Mulligan's in the corner going, oh, Spanish ladies.
He's just swimming with bow-legged leprechauns, you fuckers.
He's like duct taped his arm back on.
He shows him her tattoo of a 4-leaf clover.
Right above his scar.
Yeah, right above his scar. You see that? Weed whacker.
They go out of their way to show Howard fucking putting all his shit on the shelves and cleaning this house up. Because later in the film, they're going to go out of their way to show him taking all the stuff off the shelves and putting it into his trailer.
They must have shot these scenes back to back.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay, put the books on the shelf. Okay, take the books off the shelf.
Okay, put the books on the shelf. Okay, now put them in the box. Good job, Tim.
Take 5. Lunch.
She looks at the old man fucking passed out in the corner, and she says, this is not going to do. So she calls up her friends, Sanka, and he comes over and helps her push this fucking car. Sanka and fucking John Candy come over, and they get this go-kart running down the hill. And she's fucking booking it, man. She's really put this thing together, and she comes up to Crab and Goyle, and they're not having it.
No, they're pissed off, even though it's a piece of shit.
He's like, oh, go, can't build a go-kart.
Well, she comes in with the stopwatch, and she goes, 5-9, 5-9, we did it, 5-9.
He kissed the egg, dude.
You always gotta kiss the egg, man. So they steal her fucking stopwatch.
Yeah, that's a nice stopwatch. Give me that.
And then one of them cuts her brakes like a fucking sociopath.
Yeah, what is that about? Like, you're gonna kill this little girl.
Let her just get killed on oncoming traffic.
Yeah.
Well, there's only one road, so I mean, there's only so much peril she can get into.
Well, she gets in a lot of peril, let me tell you, because she starts hitting the fucking gas, and she can't stop.
Mm-hmm.
And Sharon must be able to see her coming for like half a mile. And she just stands there like in fucking Austin Powers, bringing it back to an old joke of the show.
Stop!
For the longest fucking time.
Get out of the way!
I know, dude. And it's also, I think we see the starfish run across a fucking field or some shit while she's out of control.
She runs over it, and it fucking spurts out a little cum.
Yeah, it does something bizarre. It's like by a puddle, and then it's like runs over the tide, and it's like...
Lucky runs over and he's like, oh, you almost squished me favorite starfish.
She gets towards the property, and like Sharon pulls a fucking Charlize Theron from Prometheus and just like doesn't run from the fucking donut ship and just keeps staying in its fucking trajectory the whole time.
Yeah, and then finally she falls into like a fucking bunch of crates or some shit. And I love how Tim Matheson runs out and he's like, holy shit. And you think he's like, oh, my daughter. He runs right over to O'Connor and he's like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you all right? And he just looks over at Molly and he's like, you're a real fucking asshole. You know that? You could have killed her.
This kid who's been in a high-speed wreck, and he's like, you're such a fucking loser. I hate you.
What an asshole.
He just goes, look what you did, you little jerk.
Yeah, look what you did, you little jerk. So they're like in the house and they're like, you know, he's like reprimanding her. And this is where she drops like a bunch of bangers on Dad because he's like, you know, I took her away from everything and you know, I just can't figure out what her problem is. She's got nothing left to lose. She doesn't have any friends, no mom. What the fuck? I don't get it.
I've stripped her of all her joy. There should be nothing else.
And I took her books away, so she should be, you know, conforming by now.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
He goes, I don't know how to communicate with my daughter. And Sharon's like putting her arm over her shoulder like, all right, Howard, let me let you in on a secret. You're a fucking horrible father. You don't even make any effort.
Yeah.
You basically berate the poor girl at every given fucking turn. And you handed her a book and told her to figure it out. Like, she kind of wanted you to do it with her. It was pretty fucking obvious. And he's like,
yeah.
What? Wait, really?
And while I'm okay with it, you were pathetically trying to get in my pants.
Yeah.
And you have a very small penis. I have to tack that on in the end, really bring down your self-esteem.
But she's into it. She loves it. So is it now where Molly comes in and she's like...
Well, no, she's outside pouting, and he's like, fuck, I gotta fix this. I finally have to be a father after years of doing nothing. And he goes outside with his coat on. He's like, you know what? I thought we could have a conversation. And she's like, well, can I talk first? He's like, go ahead, daughter. She's like, I just really think that this is fucked up that you moved me out here and you're not paying attention to me, and I just really wanted to do this with you, and you just blew me off. And he's like, you're 100% right. I'm an asshole. Let's do it.
Yeah. He's like, I have to make sure this never happens again, Molly. So I'm going to have to kill you now so I can be happy with my new Irish wife.
My new interior decorator.
And let me tell you something. The curtains most certainly match the drapes.
He tells her to kneel down and, like, stick her head out, and he's about to curb stomp her, and Sharon comes out and says, what the fuck are you doing? He says, there's a bug.
On the back of her neck.
I wasn't trying to kill her.
And then Molly's like, oh, okay. So we're going to do this? We're going to do it. So then they do it. They basically build it up from the ground up, get it going. Mm-hmm. And Lucky, of course, keeps popping in and out, and of course only Molly can see him. So it's kind of just like, you know, they play this fucking Irish music, and they do a little montage.
Fucking river dance music in this movie killed me.
It's not as good as Luck of the Irish. That one had better music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, there's like pages missing out of his stupid book, and he's like, he's like, you don't need to read the book. You got your old dad here to help you now.
Well, there's pages missing also because she might have taken that book and beaten the fuck out of it against her go-kart after a few minutes. This child has a very real breakdown at some point.
Yeah, and then cried into it.
Well, then like 2 or 3 weeks pass, and we got 3 leaves on the clover, and it's the day of the race.
Dude, this fucking house is already repossessed. What are we talking about?
Yeah, you would think, right?
You know what I mean? I thought that was it. How much time did they have?
McGreedy's trying to keep up this insurance scam with broken arms, so he's not leaving the house.
Ah, gotcha. Except for the race.
Oh, so, they never named the damn thing, the go-kart. So she comes out, and Dad's got his hands over her eyes, and he's like, we got a big surprise for you. We named the go-kart for you. We already mentioned John Candy and Sanka, so of course it's Cool Runnings.
Yeah, it's the Rainbow Racer month.
Yeah, it's a Rainbow Racer, and this thing looks like shit. I mean, I know a kid built it, but holy fuck does this look like? It looks like it's made out of paper.
It doesn't even look adequate enough to be in, like, a Mad Max parade. Like, it's just, like, it's a dingy piece of shit. I can't imagine it would run without falling apart.
It's got a motor, and it's just, like, covered with cardboard as, like, the body.
And, like, burlap sacks.
Yeah, but it's kind of nice because Miss O'Connor, like, painted it for her and like made her a little jacket and shit.
I mean, especially when you see what this thing looked like originally, like just fucking totally falling apart.
It's a piece of trash, it is.
Well, so they also make her own jacket to kind of match it because all the kids have their own jackets. And I swear to God, Crab and Goyle look like they're in fucking. They look like they're in a NASCAR race.
They're little rascals with Waldo, man. That's when they are.
I was definitely having flashbacks to that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then they participate in the Twisted Metal go-kart race.
Twisted Ireland.
This is I don't think some kids made out of this alive. Or if not, grievously injured.
Yeah.
Dude, this is definitely like a fucking pod race.
Oh yeah. You beat me to it, man.
Now this is go-kart racing.
Right before they start, like, Tim Matheson has like a heart-to-heart with O'Connor. He's like, "Wow, I'm so happy that my kid is happy now, and I needed a woman here to be a good dad because I'm a piece of shit, and my dead wife did everything, so I don't know what I'm doing. Thanks for helping me.
And you have a steady paycheck. I mean, you're great.
I mean, you're wonderful. Kiss me."
And then his fucking ears perk up because he hears that there's a 5,000-pound prize. He goes, "Wait a second, there's money involved with this?"
Wait a minute, what?
Oh, that could save my house.
Why didn't I care sooner?
Pushes her over.
He gets in the go-kart himself.
Yeah. And rips her out of it.
He's just fucking knees her up to the steering wheel.
He's literally like kicking children, like.
Yeah, he's like reaching over and like pulling them out of their go-karts and like throwing them by the neck. Like,
yeah, because he's so much bigger. So Aunt Petunia shoots off a fucking rocket launcher and starts the race.
And like, Crab and Goyle have like speed racer gadgets on their fucking go-karts, and they have comms they can talk to each other in.
Yeah.
They're like, get that guy, throw the oil slick, fire the missiles, and they have crosshairs on their fucking their windshields, like.
And Molly is dead fucking last.
Yeah.
Oh, because they got to get this little fucking caveat in there that her cart wouldn't start, so Dad has to push her to start. And this Aunt Petunia principal is like, I got to remember that for 5 minutes from now when I disqualify her.
Yeah.
Because she says something to the mayor about it. It's like, yeah, that could be considered interference. He's like, it ain't going to matter. Crab and Goyle are going to win anyway.
So Sebulba comes out the side and they decide, and Crab and Goyle decide to fucking start picking off the other racers.
By the way, when this race is over, not to jump too far ahead, but how does none of the other kids tell on these stupid motherfuckers?
Because they're the mayor's kids. They're the spoiled cocksuckers.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, they're also dead, apparently.
Well, that too.
They were all eaten by rawheads. That's what happens when you lose this race. He comes out of the woods and just takes you.
I could see it.
I wish these two fucks got eaten, right? It's right next to the trailer park, so they're in the same proximity.
And this is where I was mentioning before, where this very fat child, I'm sorry if this bothers anybody, but this very, very fat boy is in this very small helmet, and it is very fucking funny looking.
His fucking cheeks are pressed together like this.
He's like, hey, we gotta take out that other person.
Oh, come on, brother. We gotta go get everybody off the racetrack.
You mentioned earlier he's like painfully ADR'd because like there's no way he was talking over all this bullshit happening.
You can see his mouth smushed together and his speech is perfect. And it's like, oh yeah, they had
Like Connor was saying, they're dropping cow traps and oil slicks, and they drop like a fucking slime grenade on Molly.
Yes, slime bomb.
It explodes. It's like a giant bottle of like fucking green adhesive?
And the starfish is rolling around laughing. He's like, that's his cum!
Oh my god, it was Lucky all along. He just pumped that into a bottle and somehow Crab and Goyle found it.
Oh, man.
Oh my god.
The starfish was throwing up. They're like, let's put that shit in a bottle for a slime bomb.
They're handling it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. They have no idea what it is.
Yeah, this stuff tastes pretty good, actually. It's a little sweet.
Oh no.
Put a little to the side. We'll have it with our lunch.
It's like those McDonald's Shamrock Shakes.
Go check out CB Smith's fucking Instagram post if anyone out there knows what we're talking about. CB Smith, friend of the show. Classic.
I saw that post. I know what you're talking about.
Got some fucking goblin tie-ins.
Yeah.
Or bad taste, take your pick.
It's possible, yeah.
Molly's wheels are completely covered in whatever the fuck this goop is, and it makes her cart just stop. And then Lucky's like, need some magical help or something?
Lucky's like, did you forget about me?
You want me to make you fly?
I haven't been in the film for like 15 minutes.
She's like, I gotta take off. And he's like, okay. And then sprinkles fucking pixie dust on her, and she starts flying.
And then he just starts singing, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, I love you.
Hi ho, chitty chitty bang bang.
Yeah, this car's flying, man.
It's flying no faster than it was before, and somehow she gets in front of these two jackasses.
No. She does not get in front of them. Not only does it not go faster, she lands like behind them and still has to catch up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but when she lands, her wheels now magically work.
Well,
for no reason.
We kind of hinted towards why that makes sense, but it'll make a lot of sense pretty soon.
These fucking scenes of them flying through the air are fucking hilarious because it's just the go-kart and Warwick Davis like flailing around on the back of it, but the camera's moving around it to make it look like it's moving, like it's all green screened.
Yeah.
It's very clearly a stationary object with Warwick Davis in the back of it going, wee, woo, waha, and just like acting like he's tipping over, but then, it's terribly fucking placed against this green screen, just kind of, like I said, chugs up the screen diagonally.
It's fucking hilarious.
And Molly's just like, wow, Lucky, this is amazing.
This is so cool.
Running out of magic. Remember, I'm unlucky. And they land. And, she goes and she's driving and Crab and Goyle are like, yeah, we lost her. We won. We got it in the bag. And then she comes in between them and just goes right between them and wins the race. They're like, how the fuck did that happen?
Skywalker wins.
And then Petunia's like, wait a second. Hold on. Hold the fucking check.
This woman is a piece of shit. Right?
Yeah.
Because the mayor's like, well, I guess I gotta give this fucking check that I don't want to. He like says that. He's like, I don't want to give it to her, but I guess she gets it because she won.
Yeah, on the megaphone.
Yeah, he's like judging this fucking race or whatever. And this fucking bitch runs up. She's like, hold the phone. She cheated at the beginning because she needed assistance. So the check goes to the kids that are already rich. Fuck you.
I love a villain awarding himself a check with his own money.
Yeah.
I think the most deplorable thing about the scene is that the other patrons at this race are all sad looking, but clap anyway for these fucking scumbags.
Yeah.
We're used to it.
They're like, oh, Emperor Mayor did the thing he always does.
We're only here to have a little joy in our life because my sister was just killed by a fucking demon. I need something. I need a win.
Could be worse. It could be a few towns over. That town is fucked, I tell you.
My niece got ripped out of a fucking RV with her top ripped off.
She got Rex boobed.
They say he does something about raspberries. We don't really understand it.
I could smell the blood.
I heard he was God.
He is God.
I heard he peed in a priest. What?
He wants to baptize you. Lucky's just fucking the starfish. Me? No, not you.
No, not you, Lucky. The fucking penis demon.
Oh, okay. Right you are. So they lose the fucking check, and they go home, and I forget how they get into it, but Molly's...
Well, Howard drops the bomb on her. She's like, oh, and by the way, I'm eloping with Sharon.
Oh, no, that's the thing, right? Because she says something first. She's like, it's all right you didn't win the race. And he's like... And they're like going back and forth.
Because she's like, it's not like you're my mother just because you painted it. And he's like, as a matter of fact, she's going to be.
Because I'm marrying her. And she's like, what? He's like, and she's like, you're just marrying her because we're broke. And he's like, no.
How dare you?
She's like, I wish Mom was alive. She'd believe. Oh, that's what it was, because she's telling them about the leprechaun. She's like, you cheated. And she's like, I didn't cheat. It was the leprechaun. He helped me.
Also, how the fuck do they know she cheated? And did anyone go look in the woods for the bodies of these 8-year-olds who were all murdered by this fat kid and his brother? Like, what the fuck?
Well, they also do say, when Aunt Petunia makes her case, she's like, also at the point turn, no one saw you there, and you still made it to the end, so you must have went a different way.
No one saw you at Beggar's Canyon.
Not even Watto.
Not even the Sand People.
They walk in straight lines to hide their numbers.
That's right. Single file, baby. When she fucking lays that down on her dad, I thought that was the funniest fucking thing. I was like, holy shit, she just said that, and that just happened.
Well, then she's really hot and bothered, so she goes outside back to her well, and she's like, this is all your fault, Lucky. You ruined my goddamn life. He's like, whoa, okay, hold on. What did you say?
She throws a fucking pot down the well and hits him in the head with it?
Yeah. He's down there fucking trying to pleasure himself with a starfish, and he gets a pot dropped on him.
This is Lucky's time.
Don't interrupt Lucky's time.
I mean, he comes up there, and he's still got it stuffed in his pants. You can just see the outline inside there.
He's just got 6 fucking tentacles.
You just hear some sucking sounds while he's trying to explain his case.
She's like got her hands covering that part of his body, like while she's talking to him, like looking away. She's like, you're a son of a bitch, you ruined my life, but I'm not gonna look at you right now.
Is that why he's giggling all the time?
Maybe.
Could be.
He's just orgasming all fucking day.
But she basically tells him, like, I never want to see you again. And he's like, oh really? And then the starfish like, you're going soft.
You're pushing rope, Lucky. But he makes her do this, like, ritual to, like, get him to fuck off. He's like, all right, throw the penny down the well and tell me to go fuck myself. So she does.
I mean, he's already fucking himself the whole movie. We've already established that.
That's my job.
Yeah, but he wants permission now to go do it, without being bothered.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So she does, and he's like, all right, I guess that's it. She's like, yeah. And she walks off.
Fuck you, I'm done with you. All of your bad luck is over. And she tries to get him to fucking use his bad luck to break up the wedding. And he's like, I can't do that. They're good people. Or whatever.
That's messed up. How dare you?
While he's getting blown.
Are you even paying attention to me, Lucky?
What?
Huh? What? Oh, hi, Molly.
I looked down at the time for this movie to see how much time was left, and I was stunned that there was about 20-ish minutes left.
Yeah. I thought it was almost over. I was like, holy shit.
I was like, what the fuck are you going to do for the end of this film? Because right about now...
I mean, it could have been 5 minutes, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Because she goes, basically slam cuts to the bulldozers are coming in.
Yeah.
You get that quick scene of them taking everything out of the house, like I mentioned earlier. But this fucking bulldozer comes in, man. The wrecking ball, I should say.
Oh, the Blarney Stone hung up on a fucking crane?
A Blarney Stone? I'm telling you right now, that's the fucking dick monument that Rawhead was under.
Oh my God, they recycled it?
We don't waste anything in Ireland.
They don't... I gotta tell you, though, too, just real quick, this montage of them packing up the house is just like shots of the production wrapping up.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, like, at some point, they start, like, again with Prancer, it starts being filmed like a horror film.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like, they ramp up the tension all of a sudden because, like, the fucking bulldozer's there, and this mayor has he has an erection you can see from space for trashing this house, this old historical fucking monument.
Yeah.
This ancient Irish castle. He's like, I want it bulldoze right now.
Gonna build Ireland's first McDonald's here.
A fucking, what is the one from Coming to America?
A McDowell's?
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna put the first McDowell's here.
We're gonna build a McGreedy's.
They just serve McGreedy burgers. We're not really sure what's in them, but...
Haggis burgers, baby.
Yeah, he's close to Scotland. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
If only she had little tiny dinosaurs to help her out with this.
Or geckos.
It's possible. Better than a leprechaun.
So, like, then this movie just decides to go crazy as if it hasn't done that before.
Yeah.
Suddenly the music is like, bam, 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 like, it starts getting really fucking tense, and then, like, they're like, yep, the house is gonna get destroyed, and Dad's like, oh, look, a letter. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
And this is the point of the movie where you're like, oh, the redemption.
No.
Right. No, it's a Jelly of the Month Club fucking letter.
You bet it is.
Here comes the Deus Ex Machina. He's like, this must be the advance from my publisher. And he opens it up and he's like, hello, Mr. Howard. We regret to inform you.
It's just a picture of the middle finger.
It's just a rejection letter.
If this isn't the biggest bag over the head punch in the face I ever got, god damn it! Just starts punching fucking Sharon in the face.
He doesn't get the money for the house.
No.
Yeah, I'm sitting there watching the movie like, what?
I said the same thing. I was like, wait a second.
They lose sight of their fucking child during the chaos.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, oh, there must be something else that's going to happen. So Molly runs into the fucking house to get the 4-leaf clover that didn't bloom yet.
Yeah, and then she gets hit with a fucking piece of artwork.
That's my sculpture. I didn't buy it.
Don't let me die like this.
You think I want to die like this?
She goes missing, and like Sharon is waving at construction workers like there's a child in the house, and they're like, fuck your kid.
Yeah.
This guy could care less. He's like, I'm getting fucking paid to knock this house down, and I'm gonna start in her bedroom.
He might as well have flicked a fucking cigarette at her. It's just like, I don't care.
This woman is screaming directly in this man's face, and he's just like, well, whatever.
And like Howard is like trying to get in the house, and 4 men are like, you can't go in there, we're about to trash the place. And she's like, my daughter's in the house. And they're like, too bad, so sad.
Nobody's in there. Forget it.
She goes in to get the clover because it's been 4 weeks, and she's like, it's got 4 leaves. It's got 4 leaves, Lucky. And then, she gets creamed.
She gets fucking wrecked by a wrecking ball.
This fucking Blarney Stone wrecking ball comes careening into her fucking bedroom window and explodes.
There's a huge explosion.
It fucking explodes.
Specifically, her window is the first room they decide to demolish.
And she goes flying across the room.
And we're not exaggerating when we call this a mansion. This thing is fucking gigantic.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't even think they've been in every room in the 4 weeks they've lived here.
No.
And like, this is shot super straight too. So like, you have like horrified reactions from Howard and Sharon. It's shot in slow motion. The music is ramped up. She gets hit. She falls over and the screen fucking fades to black. And you're like, oh, she died again.
No, what happens is the Viridian City gym leader whites out again, and then we flash back to the fucking bed she's in.
Yeah, we leave that 80-minute detour to the actual film. Because, she actually just, when those rocks fell on her in the beginning, she's just been knocked out and imagining all this.
And then the movie starts over again.
And then at some point I was like, did you just repo men me? Like, is that what just fucking happened here?
Well, she wakes up to her dad fucking reciting his new manuscript about basically the film. And the father was reading a book, this time not for his daughter's enjoyment, but to hope that it would wake her up and give him joy. And then she's like, hey, Dad. He's like, oh my God, you woke up. Oh, thank God, I was so worried. She's like, why? How long have I been here? Why are we still in the house? Isn't it getting demolished? He's like, what are you talking about? You got knocked out a few days ago. Some rocks fell on your head.
When you got hit, I've been watching over you ever since. I was writing my other book, but then I decided to write this other book called A Very Unlucky Leprechaun TM. What do you think?
Actually, a man named Mr. Baldwin came by the house and gave me this, told me to read it to you, and eventually you'd wake up.
It fell out of the sky on our front doorstep.
It's like the Wizard of Oz, except you don't actually go anywhere magical.
And nobody learns any fucking lessons.
No.
Nobody learns any fucking lessons, and then this girl is like, I have knowledge from a previous timeline that I will now apply to this one.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, dude. She's gonna live in her past life experiences.
In fact, the whole dream, let's call it, that she had of her father being such a piece of shit couldn't be any further from the truth. I couldn't believe that. This guy is like night and day to his fucking dream version. They paint this guy as such a piece of shit in in most of the film.
Mm-hmm.
And then here he's just like, oh my God, yeah, let's make the go-kart. Let's do it. I love you. This must be what she thinks of this guy.
I am fucking positive that that is how the movie originally ended, and the studio was like, what are you, crazy?
Oh, this screams of reshoots just because of the way it's structured. And like,
yeah.
Remember how we said like for 13th Warrior, the ending of that movie is fine, but definitely feels like it's trying to wrap that shit up.
Oh yeah.
This is like the movie restarts and gives you an abridged version of the entire film in 3.5 minutes.
Just to give you a happy ending.
But like you guys are saying, she knows all the best ways to go about it now.
Yeah, but like I feel like the sad ending was the original ending, and they were like, you can't do that. What are you, fucking crazy?
Prancer. Let's keep referencing that.
And now the way it's structured, it looks like a fucking time travel film because this girl wakes up and uses all this knowledge from a premonition she had while she was unconscious.
I got a crack, dude. we see a sundial in a few shots, and that is Sigvaldsson's magic sundial.
Honestly, I could believe it after the events of this film.
It's like a primitive time turner, dude.
Well, she goes and she wins the race again, but this time she doesn't quote-unquote cheat. And also there's like an implication that like Lucky isn't real, even though we saw him prior to this fucking rocks falling on her head.
Yeah, and then she doesn't interact with him the whole time between all of this.
Right.
Like at all.
The pisser is, after all that, Dad and Sharon still get together, but he still doesn't get enough fucking money to pay off fucking McGreedy.
Yeah.
They're still gonna knock it down.
It's a good thing you won that go-kart race. Too bad we didn't get any money. Slam cut to a wrecking ball again.
Dread it. Run from it.
Run from it.
The Blarney Stone comes all the same.
In time, you will learn what it's not like to be demolished.
She also fails to mention that the next town over is going to be murdered by some fucking penis demon in a few days. She could have avoided a lot of misery, and she just decides not to tell anyone about that.
She keeps that B plot of her dream to herself.
Yeah. Because that's McGreedy's whole thing. Like, he wants to open a metropolis to like cover that all up. Like, no, there's no killer penis demon. What are you talking about?
Are you saying he wants to gentrify Rawhead problems?
You bet your fucking sweet ass. Pagan, what's that?
So, yeah, we then recycle most of the fucking footage from this wrecking ball sequence.
Well, except McGreedy doesn't have a broken arm this time.
No. So I guess that didn't happen in this timeline.
The letter shows up again, and when he first started reading it, I fucking fell the fuck over. Because I'm like, this will be the correction. This will be everything's positive. And he opens it up, and he's like, we regret to inform you. And I was like, but then he's like, but we're interested in your stupid children's story that's probably nonsensical and doesn't have an ending.
That you didn't submit, somebody else did.
Yeah, that you didn't submit, and we'd like to, pay you for that. And then he walks over to McGreedy. He's like, ha-ha, I am a successful author.
It just happens to be this check is the exact amount I owe you. Here you go.
Yeah. And then he stuffs it down his fucking throat.
Yeah.
Also, just real quick, you were saying that, like, it's all recycled shots of the wrecking ball scene, except one. There's one shot where the one foreman guy comes up and he's like, oh, you look real sexy with that megaphone, boss. And he's like, what? He's like, fuck off.
Oh, I could be your Aunt Petunia.
It could have been me.
He fucking hits Petunia with the wrecking ball like, oh, no, what happened?
Yeah, she mysteriously disappears. She floats off. She doesn't interact with Lucky this entire time in this timeline.
Also, it's like heavily implied Lucky was the one that sent it to the publisher.
Right. So she goes over to the well to like see if Lucky's still there. And I'm pretty sure it turns out that like even though this is all a dream, the leprechaun still helped her because she got the 4-leaf clover from the room.
This is like when I said holiday switch. This is like the fucking gifts from the parallel timeline, like seeping over into the actual reality, like where it's just it's a massive fucking plot hole.
Yeah, and it's like what? This doesn't make any sense. So apparently the clover she was growing in the...
Well, she grows it again. That's the thing. She basically repeats her actions.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But you're right. It doesn't really add up. And
no.
Why would she not interact with this guy for 4 weeks? And also, I just want to say, you slept for a few days and you lived 4 fucking weeks. That is a long dream. I'm just going to put it out there.
Well, that shit happens all the time, dude. With like out-of-body experiences and stuff, people pass out and live entire like lives.
There was a Junji Ito comic about it. Go look it up. It's called Long Dream. It's fucking disturbing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Lucky comes out of the well, and believe it or not, he has a fucking starfish on his penis again. So, not only is it in the dream, he's still fucking doing it. He's still fucking it.
She's always interrupting him, too, when he's fucking that thing.
I mean, thank God she does, because otherwise Mulligan was never going to catch this poor bastard.
Don't you think he'd be a little dehydrated by this point? It's always on him in his fucking drawers.
He has a fucking IV set up down there, just constantly hooked up to it.
He keeps it like attached to like one of his nipples, and he just breaks it off when he needs it.
This is me jacking off electrolyte bag.
I gotta make me quota for McDonald's. That's why they only have it once a year, dude. But anyway.
Yeah, Lucky's got to build it up. Sperm bank.
He freezes it. Well, that's why it's a frozen delight, man.
That's why the ice cream machine always breaks, because it's just,
It's all gunked up.
By the way, those machines fucking stink. So there's a visual for you guys.
It all adds up. So yeah, Mulligan catches Lucky, finally, after years of trying.
While he's talking to Molly, like they're having a heart-to-heart, and he fucking just bags this motherfucker.
Mulligan walks up and he's like, you son of a bitch, I caught you.
Oh, he's boozing hard, too. He's like, oh, I got ya.
And Lucky's like, oh no, you caught me. Oh no. Here's this pot of gold we haven't seen since the first 20 minutes of the movie.
And Molly's like, wait a second, I thought that was mine.
Yeah.
It's fake. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's chocolate. Lucky's just like, okay, Mulligan, it was all part of my plan. Here's the gold. Enjoy it. And meanwhile, this motherfucker isn't going to live long enough to fucking use this gold, all right?
No.
I know. This drunkard who lives in the fucking tool shed is now given extreme wealth.
Right?
But unfortunately, he's like, Molly, you'll get half of it because I'll be dead by tomorrow.
Half?
Let's be real. He's probably going to have a stroke like fucking O'Grady in Leprechaun before he even gets a chance to spend a dime of it.
The next shot is him sprawled out in the dirt and the gold spilled everywhere. Like,
He gets the gold and just has a fucking heart attack. Like he's been doing it his whole life and finally gets it.
Yeah, while Crystal Blue Persuasion plays as the camera fucking spins out into the sky.
Oh my god. Yes. So Molly gets half the gold, and
it's almost like getting all that money would have solved all the film's problems a long time.
Right. Like like 2 of these coins would have been enough to fucking pay this debt.
What is the point now? The conflict is resolved, and he's like, now you have half of this fucking pot of gold, which in today's value is probably not worth a whole lot.
Well, there's historic value. Could be priceless. So, then he has the whole speech again about ascending to fucking Lando Leprechauns now that he's been caught by Mulligan, but he was already caught.
Right, yeah.
In the previous timeline, too. So anyway, I guess my point is, like, he hasn't been able to find a 4-leaf clover for 100 fucking years.
And Molly grows it in 4 weeks.
Not only that, but, like, she's like, oh, how are you going to find your way to the land of leprechauns? He's like, it's okay, I'll just follow the scent of 4-leaf clovers to get there.
See? Slacker. He could have done it the whole fucking time, and he's been living in someone's fucking garage.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, they don't have starfishes in fucking the land of the leprechauns, so he had to get his use out of that thing.
You think that's what it was? He couldn't take the starfish with him.
He's not allowed in the land of leprechauns.
He pets it on the fucking head. He's like, I'm sorry, Patrick, I gotta leave you behind. He pets it on the head, and the fucking cum just spurts out a little. Finally, my sweet release.
It just fucks off to the ocean.
Starts smoking a cigar.
It starts smoking a cigar. I gotta make the starfish now. Anyway, so he flies away. And after that, he's like, okay, Molly, fuck off. See you later, starfish. And he fucking flies away, which is hilarious in itself just to see.
Because he just floats up like a balloon.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's fucking great. He flies over the house and everything. And they come out, and he's like, and Tim Matheson's like, oh, they want to buy the book, Molly, but it doesn't have an ending. And you hear like off in the distance Warwick Davis go, look up over the house there, Molly. And Molly's like, why don't we put a big rainbow at the end, like that one? And she points up, and there's a big fucking rainbow over the house. And then it just cuts to credits.
And then Tim Matheson sees the leprechaun finally because he's gotten his imagination back, and he dies of a fucking heart attack.
And his hair turns white like he saw the deadlights.
And then Sharon inherits the house.
That was the long game, right? She murders the kid.
Buried her under Rawhead's rock.
Yep. She's protected because she has the idol.
Yes.
But yeah, that's the end of the movie. Where are we putting this, guys?
For the first half of it, I was like, this is going to be a dumpster movie. Because I've said it before, my threshold for dumb kids movies is not as high as it used to be. But then this movie was like, but hold on, we have several insane things to show you. And no sooner had that starfish got pulled out of that fucking bag, I was like, shelf! This movie is a fucking acid trip. I can imagine this movie being really, really fun. If you're hanging out indoors for, I don't know, like St. Patrick's Day time with a bunch of friends, and just to watch a movie that doesn't know what the fuck it wants to be at any point. And also to watch Warwick Davis, like, practically cartwheel his way through being a leprechaun again, but not having to be a villain, and just doing pretty much the opposite kind of character, but the extreme levels of that too. He's hamming it up every time you fucking see him. He's doing all kinds of weird physical shit. And there's a lot of unintentional comedy coming from how fucking awful Howard is as a father. And yeah, this is kind of a fun, bizarre, fucking anomaly of a film that I ended up really loving. So yeah, it's a shelf movie.
It's a shelf movie for me too, but after all of that, you were so upset that the only Irish movies you get are Leprechaun movies.
I know, yeah, Leprechaun movie, like, and I'm like, this is pretty okay. Like,
Leprechaun movies and the Boondock Saints.
Yeah, A Very Unlucky Leprechaun and the Boondock Saints, yeah.
And I'll take this one over the Boondock Saints.
Yeah, this is shelf movie for me, definitely. It's got, I have an affinity for the old shitty kids movies, and this is totally one of them. Warwick Davis, pretty much anything Warwick Davis is in, especially as a main character, is fucking grade A to me.
Agreed.
He's so fucking like jovial and fun and having a fucking blast throughout this entire thing, right? And to be able to come back after all of those, after ripping people's eyes out and making dirty limericks and growing a giant penis and then exploding and then going into some guy's dick after he gets pissed on in space. Like, it's just one of those things where he kind of had a spot to play in that is more kid-friendly. Like, it's almost like he hasn't got a chance to do something like this since, like, Willow, I feel like.
Sure.
And I think maybe because we were talking about that before, like why he did it, right? Even though he just made all those other Leprechaun movies. And I think he just kind of wanted to do another kids movie or something that can be enjoyed by children and adults, right?
Yeah.
But, that's what I think anyway. I mean, I could be totally wrong.
I could see it, or like you just said, or kind of like what Connor was even saying, whereas like the other end of that spectrum.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it could have been the fucking paycheck. Who knows?
Well, I think there's also something endearing about someone coming back after 4 fucking Leprechaun movies and coming into this and not phoning it in at every fucking second.
Exactly.
And not being completely jaded.
Yeah, he's totally into it and totally fine and fun. And then he makes 2 more horror Leprechaun movies after this, so put that in perspective. But yeah, this movie is just like the starfish, like Connor said, seals the fucking deal, because it's just like it goes from 90 to 100 just on that alone. It's a weird kids movie, and I'm fucking here for it. It's Warwick Davis as a leprechaun, but not an evil leprechaun, and I'm also here for that too. This is a great companion piece to the horror movie Leprechaun, and I advise you to, when you're making your St. Patrick's Day stack, you get your fucking Baileys and your Jameson and your Guinness, and then you line up fucking Leprechaun, A Very Unlucky Leprechaun, and Rawhead, and you just fucking bang out that holy trilogy, man. On the Feast of St. Patrick. Yeah, shelf. I love it.
So this was going to be a shelf movie for me. I was honestly even fucking clearing off space on the shelf to put it on there. And then that fucking twist at the end was like a twist to the knife in my back. I get what they're going for, but it fucking just ruined the whole movie for me. Because I was really liking this film. Like, for what it is, I'm not some big fan of a lot of these kids' movies, and we've kind of talked about that on the show, over the last couple of years. But I was feeling it. I like Warwick Davis. As Joe put it, he's very jovial, and even as you both were saying, he kind of like he put more into this movie than I think he really needed to.
Sure.
From an acting standpoint. And, the overall plot, Connor, you joke about Prancer, but Prancer, I think, is way more fucking depressing than this film.
It 100% is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And, it has kind of like that feel-good moment at the end. Everything kind of works out. But the fake out with it was all a fucking dream, and now she has this prior knowledge she shouldn't have. It's just like, I don't hate it, but it's just like comes out of so far out of fucking left field that I just like, it shook me to my core, let's say. And that shaking caused it to fall out of the fucking shelf into the dumpster. Surface level, still would probably watch this again. But it's sitting up there with some fucking old hamburgers and hot dogs. It's sitting, honestly, with it's probably sitting up there with some fucking drippy Shamrock Shake.
Ooh.
That when someone realized what it really was, they spit it out and dumped it in the dumpster. Because, hey guys, it's Leprechaun cum.
It sure is.
I like that your deal breaker was like, this 9-year-old can't cause temporal paradoxes. That's
no
poppycock.
we leave that for John Hurt and the Speedsters. And hey, we have our own little universe here, and I like to think in the MDU they celebrate St. Patrick's Day, but in reality, I say that and then realize what the meaning of St. Patrick's Day actually is, of the pagans being chased out of Ireland, and, I don't know how Rawhead would feel about that, to be honest. So maybe they wouldn't celebrate it. I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I'm not really sure. We might have to phone Rawhead in and get his opinion.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess so. He's the protector of that, right? Well, he's eating everybody besides women.
Yeah, this is true. He's definitely eating the Christians, as we saw in Rawhead Rex. Top-level dumpster, covered in some Shamrock Shake.
Little Shamrock spooge on there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, if you look hard enough, you could see Warwick behind the dumpster with that starfish still attached to his penis.
Oh boy, that's a visual no one needed.
Charnetsky's in line and he's like, when do I get my fucking Shamrock Shake?
When's my turn?
Well, we all know Charnetsky's not wearing any clothes because GVD told him to take them off.
Come here, you little devil. I need that juice.
Where's my starfish? It's been missing for years.
Quick, Warwick, run. So that's it. That's A Very Unlucky Leprechaun from 1998, directed by Brian Kelly.
Hey everybody, if you want some more bad movie goodness, you can check us out at moviedumpsterpodcast.com.
Subscribe to us anywhere you listen to your podcast, and make sure to leave us a 5-star review if you dig the show, because it helps us get out of the bottom of the dumpster and into more eardrums.
Yeah, and if you're on the social medias, you can follow us at Movie Dumpster on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm Joel Escola.
I'm Sean Lubden O'Rourke.
I'm Connor Seamus McGraw. That's my actual middle name, everybody.
And I'm Joel Escola, and I don't have any Irish puns or anything like that. But happy St. Patrick's Day, dumpster dwellers.
You lied to me.
Only because you lied to me first.
When?
When you said you'd bring me luck.
I didn't lie. I did bring you luck.
But all of it was bad.
Well, a minor technicality.
You got me into a lot of trouble. My life's a complete mess, and it's all because of you and your unlucky charms.
All right. I admit it. Everything you say is true. As a leprechaun, I'm a loser.